Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue with the consideration of Agenda Item 9 as decided in our first plenary meeting. To articulate the consideration of the first part of this item, the Secretariat has compiled a list of speakers in accordance with Rule 35 and 36 of our Rules of Procedure. In order to ensure that all representatives wishing to take the floor are allowed to do so, I would like to remind the representatives that the Assembly has limited the time of speeches to a maximum of 3 minutes. I will repeat, maximum of 3 minutes for member states and 5 minutes for those who are speaking on behalf of groups or regional ministerial forums in accordance to Rule 38 or our rules of procedure. Please be aware that the microphone automatically cuts off after 3 minutes and a short period of grace. It is now my honor, therefore, to invite Ambassador Marta Juarez Ruiz, the head of delegation of Costa Rica, on behalf of the Minister of Costa Rica.
Thank you, Chair. Señor Presidente, deseo primeramente sumarme a los agradecimientos y felicitaciones de las otras distinguidas delegaciones por el liderazgo y compromiso del doctor Edgar Gutiérrez, Ministro de Medio Ambiente y Energía de Costa Rica, Presidente de esta Asamblea de las Naciones Unidas para el Medio Ambiente, quien se disculpa por no estar presente debido a que debe atender asuntos de la presidencia. Estamos conscientes que ha sido una travesía ardua y muy compleja, pero debemos sentirnos orgullosos, pues gracias a nuestro trabajo conjunto y el apoyo de los ministros de Ambiente y de la Secretaría del Programa de las Naciones Unidas para el Medio Ambiente, hemos organizado una reunión sustantiva que se ha beneficiado de un proceso transparente, inclusivo e innovador. La presidencia costarricense se complace por haber establecido buenas prácticas que permitieron intensificar la comunicación y la cooperación entre los burós de la Asamblea y el Comité de Representantes Permanentes y contribuir al proceso de construcción de confianza entre los Estados miembros que esperamos se mantenga y sea fortalecida por la próxima presidencia. Asimismo, mi país se congratula porque esta Asamblea haya decidido enfocar su debate en uno de los retos de desarrollo sostenible más acuciantes y que avancemos hacia un planeta libre de contaminación. Costa Rica, país pequeño y en desarrollo, decidió hace ya muchas décadas iniciar su camino hacia un desarrollo sostenible inclusivo que ha girado en las esferas de la conservación, la educación y el bienestar socioeconómico y medioambiental de su población. Decidimos enfrentar los retos de nuestro desarrollo de forma honesta y responsable, con una visión amplia basada en la promoción de los derechos humanos y el disfrute pleno de una vida digna. Es gracias a este compromiso y a nuestra decidida ambición, que nos ubicamos en la vanguardia de la acción climática y que este año, por tercer año consecutivo, celebramos más de 100 días de generación eléctrica 100% renovable. También decidimos revertir los altísimos índices de deforestación de los años 80 y tener al día de hoy un 52% de nuestro territorio cubierto por bosques. Nuestra meta es alcanzar el 60% para el año 2050. Trabajamos en la descarbonización profunda de nuestra economía y trabajamos por ser un país carbono neutral para el año 2021. Y aunque sean muchos los retos, confiamos en alcanzar esa y muchas otras metas necesarias para garantizar un mejor país para las presentes y futuras generaciones. Es por estas razones, señor presidente, que creemos en la necesidad de que en este foro avancemos de forma decidida hacia un planeta libre de contaminación. Mi país decidió combatir la contaminación en el agua, terrestre y del aire. Somos parte de la campaña de Mares Limpios, Clean Seas Campaign, One Use of Single Plastic, entre otras, que si bien es cierto, han tenido resultados positivos, resta mucho trabajo por hacer. Y es por eso que creemos firmemente en la necesidad de que materialicemos el compromiso político que se manifiesta en nuestra declaración ministerial. Debemos ver este documento como una oportunidad para seguir hacia adelante. Nuestro trabajo no se detiene aquí, solamente continúa. Y es por eso que hacemos un llamado decidido para la adopción de nuestra declaración ministerial. Debemos transformar los retos en las oportunidades necesarias para la transformación que todos nuestros países necesitan. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Ambassador Martha Ruiz, for her statement. May I now invite Excellency Sidney Alexander Samuels Wilson, Minister, Guatemala. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you. En nombre de la República de Guatemala, presento un agradecimiento al Gobierno de la República de Kenia por la cordial hospitalidad brindada. Asimismo, extiendo una felicitación al honorable presidente de la Asamblea de las Naciones Unidas para el Medio Ambiente, señor ministro de Costa Rica, Edgar Gutiérrez, y el equipo de trabajo por su dinámica y eficiente gestión en este importante evento. Distinguidos delegados, dignatarios y representantes ante esta Asamblea de Naciones Unidas para el Medio Ambiente, reciban un cordial saludo de la República de Guatemala. La Agenda 2030 para el Desarrollo Sostenible nos marca un camino de recorrido ineludible, con 17 objetivos de desarrollo sostenible y en particular, como lo establece su preámbulo, con el claro propósito de proteger el planeta. En Guatemala, generamos un marco político jurídico para respaldar nuestras acciones, entre ellas la ley marco para regular los efectos de cambio climático y la mitigación de gases de efecto invernadero. En este sentido, fortalecemos nuestras capacidades institucionales con diferentes políticas ya diseñadas, Una de ellas es la política de educación ambiental conjuntamente elaborada con el Ministerio de Educación de Guatemala, con la cual estamos enseñando a nuestros niños de primaria ya conceptos relacionados con lo que es el cambio climático, la capa de ozono y todos aquellos temas relacionados con el ambiente. Igualmente contamos con una agenda de proyectos estratégicos para enfrentar la contaminación de nuestra atmósfera, suelos, océanos y mares, así como en nuestros recursos hídricos. Por ello, hemos presentado la iniciativa de ley para el manejo integral del recurso hídrico en Guatemala, que recientemente obtuvo dictamen favorable de la Comisión respectiva de Ambiente del organismo legislativo. Esta iniciativa de ley prevé como entes reguladores a comités de autoridades de cuencas para promover la gobernanza territorial en este vital recurso. Los gobiernos locales son actores clave en su conservación y manejo sostenible para evitar su contaminación. Cabe resaltar también la instalación de sistemas de retención de flotes, conocidos comúnmente como biobardas, de elaboración artesanal de bajo costo, evitando la contaminación de los mares con desechos sólidos que llegan a los mismos. También se impulsa un programa nacional de gestión integrada marino-costera con base en la política para su manejo integral. Trabajamos en una legislación para el control de emisiones de gases contaminantes provenientes de fuentes con motor de combustión interna. De los acuerdos multilaterales medioambientales, Guatemala se ha comprometido y tiene en ejecución las acciones relacionadas con los convenios de diversidad biológica, Estocolmo, Basilea, Rotterdam, los protocolos de Kioto, Cartagena, Montreal con su enmienda de Kigali. Asimismo, está en proceso la ratificación del convenio de Minamata, que esperamos concluir durante el próximo año. Con ello, en coordinación con los fabricantes y sector productivo del país, por lo que hemos establecido acuerdos voluntarios con estos sectores con el propósito de encauzar al sector económico hacia una competitividad empresarial ambientalmente sostenible. Para concluir, todas las naciones tenemos derecho a un desarrollo sostenible en todas sus dimensiones, y solo lo lograremos
Thank you, Excellency. May I now invite Excellency Celestine Ndiazeye, Minister Burundi, to make his national statement. Excellency, you have the floor.
Honorables, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, au nom de la délégation du Burundi et à mon nom propre, c'est un honneur et un plaisir de prendre la parole devant cette auguste assemblée pour vous présenter d'abord mes salutations et celles de mon pays. C'est une occasion aussi de féliciter le gouvernement du Kenya pour avoir accepté d'organiser cette grande rencontre et merci de l'hospitalité légendaire d'Afrique réservée à notre endroit. Il me plaît en outre de vous préciser avec fierté qu'à la veille de la participation de la 23e conférence des partis à Bonn le mois dernier, ma présence en tant que ministre en charge de l'environnement devant le Parlement burundais, qui a adopté à l'unanimité le projet de loi portant ratification de l'accord de Paris, a été un grand bénéfice pour mon pays et pour l'ensemble des parties à l'accord, et j'arrive à ces assises de Nairobi après sa promulgation. En outre, concernant ma présence, notre présence et l'intérêt que nous partageons lors de ces honorables assises sous la houlette du PNUE, c'est de vous garantir le soutien au programme combien clair et bénéfique pour l'humanité. Nous avons hâte de lutter à tout prix pour un monde sans pollution. Ceci s'est déjà concrétisé dans notre pays par la densification d'arbres et de forêts, la plantation de nouveaux arbres après la signature de l'accord de Paris, soit 50 hectares par commune et par an, faisant en tout plus de 2 millions d'hectares déjà qui apparaissent comme un facteur important d'atténuation des effets de pollution sur tout le territoire national. Ceci grâce à l'implication de la haute sphère de la République, à commencer par les efforts de son Excellence le Président de la République lui-même. Les contributions déterminées au niveau national déjà présentées se font observer attentivement et attendent la mise en œuvre effective grâce à la coopération intéressée. Honorables Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, d'autres actions similaires et complémentaires se multiplient à l'intérieur du pays. Je peux citer la Convention de Minamata sur le Mercury, qui est en train de suivre le cours normal d'adoption et de ratification. Les initiatives d'éradication des déchets plastiques, la disponibilisation de l'espace approprié à la construction d'une décharge moderne pour la gestion des déchets solides, spécialement dans ses volets recyclage, compostage et valorisation dans la production d'énergie, etc. Au niveau de la gestion des eaux usées, une loi portant réglementation des eaux usées, du Code de l'eau, du Code de l'environnement constitue des outils permettant de réduire autant que faire se peut la pollution de manière générale. Excellences, honorables, Mesdames et Messieurs, je voudrais terminer mon propos en souhaitant plein succès à cette session de Nairobi. Vive la coopération internationale, que le Tout-Puissant vous bénisse. Merci de votre aimable attention.
Thank you, Excellency, for your statement. May I now call on His Excellency Mr. Vidar Helgesen, Minister of Norway. Minister, you have the floor.
Mr. President, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations Environmental Assembly is the leading platform on global environmental policy. And ahead of this year's assembly, we have been given a wake-up call. The Lancet Commission's report on health and economic costs of pollution makes clear that pollution is now the largest cause of deaths globally, responsible for some 9 million premature deaths. This tells us we need to step up efforts to tackle pollution. We need to do that also because that would be a fundamental contribution to achieving the Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals. The rapidly increasing levels of plastic litter and microplastics in our oceans is a global concern. Millions of tons of plastic waste flow around the oceans and are carried across the globe with the currents. This affects livelihoods, it affects ecosystems, and potentially it does affect human health. Combating marine litter is a key priority for Norway at home and abroad. We need specific actions on the ground locally and nationally at the country level, but we also need to get our act together internationally at the global level. There is a lack today of a coherent international governing framework to effectively address marine litter in a comprehensive manner. Norway believes that the United Nations Environment Assembly is particularly suited to address the challenge of marine litter and microplastics, and we've put forward a draft resolution on marine litter and microplastics. This resolution underlines my zero vision for plastics in the ocean and calls for more action both in the short and long term to achieve Sustainable Development Goal 14. Mr. President, antimicrobial resistance has long been on the global health agenda. The Frontiers 2017 report launched today demonstrates the role of environmental factors in the development and spread of antimicrobial resistance. Norway welcomes a holistic approach to ensure that antibiotics remain a common good for future generations. Working to improve the environment is fundamental to humans and to human rights. But many of those who stand up for the environment face serious risks. One environmental defender is killed every day. The international community cannot let this happen, and national jurisdictions should not let this happen. We need strong advocates for the environment. Partnership with civil society, indigenous peoples groups, academia, and the private sector is a prerequisite to reach the 2030 Agenda and the SDGs. Mr. President, armed conflict and acts of terrorism cause grave damage to the environment. As states, it is our responsibility to protect the environment, to secure safe drinking water, access to land, and clean air. These tasks and the many more in the environmental agenda are difficult, and at times they can seem overwhelming. But we can accomplish them. We can accomplish them only if we act together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency, for your statement. May I now invite Excellency Riyad Mouakkar, Minister Tunisia, to deliver his national statement. Excellency, you have the floor.
السيد رئيس جمعية الأمم المتحدة للبيئة، السيدات والسادة وزراء دول المشاركة، السيدات والسادة رؤساء وأعضاء الوفود وممثلي المنظمات الدولية المشاركة، رغم ما تبذله وما نبذله على المستوى العالمي والإقليمي والجهوي من مجهودات ومحاولات للحد من أشكال التلوث الذي يمس الهواء والماء والتربة، فإن الحالة البيئية لهذه الأواسط الطبيعية لا تزال مهددة ومعرضة إلى التدهور. وفي هذا الإطار فإن تونس تجدد انخراطها المطلق والتام في المجهودات المبذولة على المستوى العالمي للمساهمة في حماية كوكب الأرض من التلوث والمحافظة على المنظومات الإيكولوجية والموارد الطبيعية. لقد وضعت بلادنا العناية بالبيئة ضمن أولوياتها التنموية، حيث كرس دستور الجمهورية الثانية لسنة 2014 الحق في بيئة سليمة. ولقد تكثفت جهود الدولة من أجل دمج الجانب البيئي في جل الأنشطة والميادين التنموية ذات الأولوية للمرحلة القادمة. حضرات السيدات والسادة، لقد بادرت بلادنا بالمصادقة على الاتفاقيات الأممية ذات العلاقة بحماية البيئة وصحة الإنسان، ونذكر منها على سبيل المثال اتفاقية ستوكهولم وروتردام وبال واتفاقية مونريال لحماية طبقة الأوزون، كما أمضت بلادنا اتفاقية مينيماتا حول الزئبق. وتبذل بلادنا مجهودات كبيرة من أجل الوفاء والإيفاء بكل التزاماتها تجاه هذه الاتفاقيات، حيث تم في هذا الصدد الاستغناء النهائي عن تداول واستعمال العديد من المواد الكيميائية والمبيدات الخطرة واستبدالها بمواد أقل خطورة، كما تم إعداد وتحيين الجرد الوطني للمواد العضوية الثابتة وتحيين المخطط الوطني لتنفيذ اتفاقية ستوكهولم. وفي هذا الإطار تمكنت بلادنا من التخلص النهائي من حوالي 1900 طن من المبيدات التالفة وحوالي 1200 طن من ثنائي الفينيل متعدد الكلور. كما أرست بلادنا منظومات متكاملة للتصرف في النفايات الخطرة على غرار الزيوت المستعملة والمراكم وإعادة استعمالها، وتم إرساء منظومة متكاملة لمعالجة نفايات صناعية أخرى من خلال إنشاء مركزين لاستقبال وتخزين وتحويل النفايات الصناعية والخاصة، ومركزين لمعالجة النفايات الكهربائية والإلكترونية والنفايات الصناعية والخاصة. حضرات السيدات والسادة، لقد ارتكز العمل في مجال البيئة والتنمية المستدامة على تدعيم وتطوير النصوص القانونية والمواصفاتية. ففي مجال تطوير وتحديث منظومة التصرف البيئي تم الشروع في تنفيذ عدد من البرامج والمشاريع، كما تم إجراء العديد من الدراسات لجرد أهم مصادر التلوث وتشخيصها ومتابعتها وتقييم الوضع البيئي وحالة الأواسط الطبيعية الأكثر عرضة للتلوث، وغلق عدد من الوحدات الصناعية الملوثة وتأهيل عدد كبير منها وتحسين مردودها البيئي واستصلاح وتثمين عدد من المواقع الصناعية الملوثة. كما قررت الحكومة التونسية خلال هذه السنة التوقف عن سكب الفوسفوجيبس في مياه البحر الأبيض المتوسط، وذلك بنقل وحدات تحويل الفوسفات الملوثة بعيدا عن الشريط الساحلي وعن مناطق العمران. كما تم الشروع في تنفيذ برنامج مندمج تشاركي لمقاومة التلوث في بحيرة بنزرت شمال البلاد. ولاستكمال هذه المجهودات في مجال البيئة الصناعية تم الشروع في تنفيذ برامج للحوكمة البيئية المحلية بالمناطق الأكثر عرضة للتلوث الصناعي. كما يتم تشجيع المؤسسات لتبني مبادئ المسؤولية المجتمعية للمؤسسة من أجل إدماجها في محيطها. وفي مجال التحكم في المياه الصناعية والحد من تأثيراتها الصحية، سيتم قريبا الشروع في بناء 9 محطات معالجة المياه الصناعية ب9 مناطق صناعية كبرى، مما سيمكن من التحكم في التلوث الناجم عن هذا النشاط. كما نقوم بمتابعة نوعية الهواء عبر الشبكة الوطنية لمتابعة نوعية الهواء، والتي تتكون
Thank you, His Excellency. May I now invite Her Excellency Mrs. Edna Molewa, Minister, South Africa, to deliver her national statement. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Your Excellencies, the Executive Director of UNEP, all other excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Mr. President, pollution is a growing global challenge that affects all of us. It has severe socio-economic impacts on human and environmental health, as well as workforce productivity. Urgent action is required by all of us. As an international community, we are gathered here to discuss and decide on issues that define, in particular, the pollution dimension of a future global environmental agenda. Mr. President, as a responsible citizen, South Africa is committed to addressing pollution at an international, regional, and national levels. At the international and regional levels, we have ratified the Basel Convention, that's the Berne Amendment, and are right now the final parliamentary process of ratifying the Minamata Convention on Mercury and the Kigali Amendment of the Montreal Protocol and on HFCs, as well as the SADC Protocol on the environment. Mr. President, I must stress that if we indeed are to mobilize our collective best efforts to address the global pollution challenge, it is critical to secure means of implementation support for developing countries' action. At a national level, South Africa's constitution provides a legal obligation for government to ensure that the environment is safe and clean for all its people. The obligation is a core pillar of our National Development Plan that sets sustainable development targets to be achieved by 2030. In line with this National Development Plan, we have developed legislation, policies, strategies, and action plans in order to address air, land, water, and marine pollution. These measures prioritize and focus on the following. 1, the control of pollution sources, managing pollution from waste, managing and controlling air pollution, preventing and addressing marine pollution, and supporting voluntary industry and stakeholder initiatives such as Cosmetic Association Plan to phase out the non-biodegradable microbeads and cosmetic by the year 2020. Our national policy and implementation efforts are informed by best available evidence and research. We have established an academic research forum that's focused on priority pollution problems such as plastic pollution, as well as emerging pollutants of concern. Mr. President, in line with our commitment to concretely address the global challenge of environmental pollution, I'm honored and pleased to announce on behalf of South Africa that South Africa will be joining the UNEP Clean Seas campaign on marine litter aimed at fighting marine plastic litter, also partnering with Rwanda and Nigeria. We recently launched the Africa Alliance on Circular Economy, working with EU as well in that line, and this alliance will collaborate with platforms for accelerating the circular economy initiatives. At this point, I must express our concern with regard to our discussion here on the resolution dealing with armed conflict and terrorism. I must clearly state that there is no scientific established causal link between the environmental degradation and terrorism. We believe it is important for UNEA to remain true to its environmental mandate. In the same vein, Mr. President, we must be understood very well that we do believe that terrorism must be dealt with. There are, however, other international bodies mandated to address terrorism security issues, and work is ongoing, and we will support this work. As I conclude, Mr. President, I would like to reiterate our words when he says South Africa remains fully committed to reduce all forms of pollution, and we believe that we can achieve more by acting together. I must commend you, Mr. President, and the Bureau for your outstanding preparations for this meeting, and thanks to the government of Kenya and all its people for the work that they've done in preparing for us and the hospitality. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you for the commitment also. May I now invite His Excellency Kimedo Dale, Minister, Ethiopia. Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Vice President. Pollution is one of the greatest threats humanity has ever faced. Despite dozens of conventions and successive gatherings and also decisions by political leaders, scientists, and stakeholders, the health and ecosystem challenge posed by pollution could not be successfully addressed. If we keep doing what we have been doing over years, following the business as usual model, the result will be the same all over again at the expense of lives and livelihoods. Pollution prevention is a constitutional matter in Ethiopia. Article 44, sub-article 1 states, I quote, all persons have the right to a clean and healthy environment. Following this, my country has put in place domestic legislations and also ratified international conventions and agreements on pollution prevention and control. Adhering to these provisions, Ethiopia scores milestone achievement, especially in addressing air and land pollution. The Addis Ababa Light Rail Transit has brought honor to the city on the C40 Cities Award as it introduced carbon-neutral transportation system. Pollution has no boundary, Mr. Vice President. This is why Ethiopia believes in and advocates for cooperation and coordination at all levels for effective and efficient pollution prevention and control. Capitalizing on this, Ethiopia and Djibouti, in the spirit of brotherhood and cooperation, have launched the first fully electrified cross-border railway line in Africa. Mr. Vice President, striving to address land pollution, Ethiopia completed Africa's first major waste-to-energy facility at Rapi, designed to eliminate about 80% of waste from the capital city. The project, recognized by the United Nations Environment Programme, is the result of a partnership between the government of Ethiopia and a consortium of international companies from China, Denmark, and Singapore. Ethiopia, like any other developing country, is affected by pollution as a result of agricultural practices and hazardous chemicals from industries. We firmly believe that economic growth shall not be at the expense of environment. However, human and infrastructure capacities are limited to control these pollutions at different levels. Therefore, Ethiopia calls for international cooperation, partnership, and assistance to successfully address land, water, and air pollution in the country. Putting in place legislations or reaching consensus on text is important. However, the most important part is implementation. Colleagues, we need to act now. In conclusion, Ethiopia wishes to reiterate its unwavering commitment to work with the United Nations Environment Programme, global community, and our development partners to achieve a pollution-free planet for all. I thank you.
Thank you, Excellency, and thank you for keeping yourself within the 4 minutes. Again, for those who just came in, let me remind you that the microphone is shutting off exactly after 4 minutes. So please review your statement now, those who are going to speak, and make sure you keep yourself within the 3 minutes plus 1 minute to summarize or to recap, because automatically the microphone will shut off after 4 minutes. So let me now call on Her Excellency Mrs. Paula Cristina Carvalho Coelho, Minister of Angola. Her Excellency, you have the floor.
I thank you.
Excellency members of Presidium, Excellency members and heads of delegation, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocol observed. On behalf of the President of the Republic of Angola, Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, we would like to congratulate the government of Kenya to a continuous leadership on environmental matters and host together the UNEA-3. Excellencies, pollution is a great challenge facing humanity at all levels, either rural or urban relation to transboundary nature of its cause and effects that have prompted government, civil society, the scientific community, and other actors to seek for a global response to this challenge. To a developing country such as Angola, pollution is being recognized as a matter of emergency and the need to prevent and mitigate quality of air, soil, health, and its impacts on daily lives of people and local communities. The need for all to act is urgent, and Angola is engaged on the approval, amongst other, a national plan on water quality, soil and air pertaining to pollution, where a platform of different stakeholders have been put into place. Angola is part of major environmental conventions. By that, UNEA-3 recommendations and decisions are a global response that must reconcile all historical responsibility for the dangerous concentration of greenhouses in the atmosphere and the need to ensure continuous progress towards poverty eradication, sustained economic growth, and sustainable development. The multilateralism has thus far proven as an effective and appropriate tool to build the necessary consensus to tackle pollution, either by using technology or sharing experience. As we progress towards a better quality of life, subjects such as marine conservation areas, ecosystem service, chemicals, dangers, and radioactive waste, industrialization, and ratification of the Kigali Amendment are continuously on top of the table as a priority. In that regard, we congratulate the Montreal Protocol for its 3rd anniversary. Angola, in particular, calls for an interactive action on these commitments. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Republic of Angola recognizes that an action must be taken immediately. Pollution affects humans, particularly compromise the future generations. We are engaging on reduction of its impacts, amongst other, in the greenhouses. Excellencies, as we progress, many examples can be presented as good practice from all of us, but it's imperative that we tackle actions collectively on which each does its part, starting on assuming today the recommendations that are being decisions also from this UNEA-3. Allow me to finalize by calling attention that we only have one planet, one life, and we all can do better, characterized by a deep sentiment of solidarity to this planet and sharing a destiny. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. May I now invite His Excellency Pierre Simon George, Minister of Haiti. Excellency, you have the floor.
Monsieur le Président, Mesdames, Messieurs les ministres de l'Environnement, un monde sans pollution a été choisi comme thème principal pour la 3e Assemblée des Nations Unies pour l'environnement de cette année et vise à catalyser un nombre tangible d'engagements afin de lutter contre la pollution. Car ce phénomène inquiète tous les décideurs politiques et la société civile qui interviennent dans le domaine de l'environnement et la santé. Environ 3 millions d'êtres humains meurent chaque année à cause de la pollution de l'air, soit 5% des décès annuels mondiaux. La diarrhée tue 525 000 enfants âgés de moins de 5 ans chaque année dans le monde. Monsieur le Président, nous savons que l'avènement de l'épidémie de choléra a causé 9 300 morts et plus de 800 000 infectés en Haïti. Au nom du gouvernement d'Haïti, je félicite l'ex-président des Nations Unies d'avoir reconnu la provenance onusienne de l'épidémie et présenté ses excuses auprès du peuple haïtien. Il a dit, et je cite, « Au nom des Nations Unies, je veux vous le dire très franchement, nous nous excusons auprès du monde haïtien. Cette injustice causée par la pollution de l'eau, faite à Haïti, l'un des pays les plus pauvres et qui figure parmi les plus vulnérables du monde, n'a pas encore été réparée. Nous savons cependant que la morbidité et la mortalité liées à la pollution sont évitables et nous sommes ici pour prendre des décisions tendant à dire non à la pollution. Tenant compte des impacts de la pollution sur la santé humaine et sur les écosystèmes, le gouvernement d'Haïti est engagé, sous l'impulsion du président de la République d'Haïti, son Excellence Jovenel Moïse, à lutter contre la pollution sur toutes ses formes à travers son vaste programme, la Caravane du changement. Dans le cadre de cette vision, plusieurs activités ont été réalisées. L'inauguration du premier centre de germoplace le samedi dernier, ayant une capacité de production annuelle de 4 à 5 millions d'espèces forestières et fruitières. 3 autres sont déjà en construction et 6 autres sont programmés pour l'année 2018, ce qui permettra d'œuvrer résolument et irréversiblement au reboisement du pays. La lutte pour l'éradication de l'épidémie de choléra par un vaste programme de captage et de purification des sources d'eau, la réalisation d'une enquête sur la gestion des déchets chimiques dangereux dans 4 grandes villes du pays, la signature d'un protocole d'accord interministériel pour la promotion de l'hygiène, de l'assainissement et du cadre de vie, le renforcement de la législation sur les déchets en adoptant la loi portant création du Service national de gestion des résidus solides. Cette loi est publiée le 21 septembre 2017. La publication d'un arrêté présidentiel élevant au rang de direction autonome l'Agence nationale des aires protégées. Cette décision a permis la création d'un réseau de 25 aires protégées, dont 11 marines. Toutes ces actions visent à lutter contre la pollution en vue de créer un cadre de vie sain et agréable. Cependant, Monsieur le Président, il reste beaucoup à faire pour diminuer de façon significative l'impact de la pollution sur la santé humaine et l'environnement en Haïti. La gestion des déchets constitue une préoccupation pour le gouvernement d'Haïti. C'est en vertu de ces considérations que le gouvernement que je représente ici profite de cette tribune pour demander que des pays victimes de la pollution comme Haïti, déjà trop vulnérables par les changements climatiques, soient fortement assistés dans la réparation de l'environnement. Je voudrais terminer mon allocution avec une citation de David Servan-Schreiber qui traduit parfaitement l'objectif de cette 3e Assemblée des Nations Unies pour l'environnement. On ne peut pas vivre en bonne santé sur une planète malade. Je vous en remercie.
Thank you, His Excellency, for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Abdullahi Majid, Minister, Maldives. Excellency, you have the floor.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Mr. President, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Let me first take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to the Bureau on their dedicated effort for the UNEA. I would also like to thank the UNEP and Government of Kenya for the excellent arrangements and the wonderful hospitality. Mr. President, the theme of UNEA-3 2017 truly captures one of the most pressing issues facing the world today. Pollution, in its various forms, threatens our environment and human well-being. From the impacts of pollution on our oceans, the land, and the air, there is no escaping this hard truth. Unless we take urgent action now, the problem will only amplify. Time and again, we are reminded that development and environment are not mutually exclusive terms. Indeed, it is imperative that we decouple development and resource use with environmental degradation. Concerted action on reducing and addressing pollution will be a critical part of this work. Though a small island state, we in the Maldives are firmly committed to do our part. At the UN Oceans Conference held earlier this year, we made a voluntary pledge to significantly and progressively reduce the use of non-biodegradable plastics in the Maldives. Additionally, we have already begun an initiative in collaboration with our fishing industry, whereby our fishermen would collect and bring back drifting plastics they encounter to the collective measures to be further taken to waste management centers. Mr. President, pollution both from marine and terrestrial-based sources has had a significant impact on our oceans, biodiversity, and ecosystem services. Across the globe, millions depend on the oceans and coastal environments for food and livelihoods. As an island state, this is no more so in the Maldives. Addressing marine pollution in Maldives begins with the sound management of waste. Indeed, SIDS have identified waste management as a priority sector for action within the Samoa pathway. However, with our scattered islands providing suitable, viable, and environmentally sound facilities for waste management is a highly challenging task. In addition to the numerous environmental problems, pollution also has very real impacts on health and well-being of our peoples. In Maldives alone, WHO estimates that 48 deaths are caused by air pollution-related complications each year. This is indeed a significant and an alarming figure given the size of our minute population. The government is working towards addressing this issue, and we request support from partners in establishing adequate ambient air quality monitoring mechanisms, as well as assistance to develop the necessary technical and human resource capacity to this regard. Mr. President, pollution is a global issue, and as such will require global collective effort. The resolution of this August Assembly will no doubt further revitalize and guide the work. Through a collective effort and with participation from all stakeholders, we can indeed beat pollution. Let this not only be our pledge, but our legacy, vocation, and destiny. I thank you, sir.
Thank you, Excellency, for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Cherenbat Namsrai, Minister, Mongolia. Minister, you have the floor.
Mr. President of the United Nations Environment Assembly, Mr. Executive Secretary of the United Nations Environment, Your Excellency and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for Mongolia to address its commitment and pledge to this third United Nations Environment Assembly themed on pollution-free planet. I take this opportunity to convey my sincere gratitude to the United Nations Environment for taking the lead on tackling all types of pollution and waste and promoting the synergetic and achievable approaches in order to meet SDGs 2030. And deep appreciation to the President of UNEA for your excellent leadership and commitment. As one of the developing countries, Mongolia has been facing challenges, ups and downs, and affecting to the climate change and desertification, environmental pollution levels have been rising adversely, and its impact to environment, economies, social development, and health, and the well-being of the country and its people. In 2016 and 2017, the government, with support of national and international multi-stakeholders, developed its national program for reducing air and environmental pollution, and the Parliament of Mongolia approved the revised law on waste. Having implemented these two main documents, along with Mongolian commitment to the Paris Agreement, National Green Development Policy, and National Waste Management Strategy and Action Plan, Mongolia believes that the country would overcome the challenges and move forward to maintain the cleaner, healthier, and safe environment. Dear President, Mongolia has been promoting the synergies and inclusiveness policy coherence in its short, medium, and long-term policy documents, as well integrating to the Sustainable Development Goals Agenda 2030. Undertaking the key role of the multi-stakeholders commitment and partnership, Mongolia believes that all and any actions towards reducing the air and environmental pollution should based on social response of citizens, civil societies, and non-governmental organizations and private sector. On the other hand, the commitment of financial sector, private companies, and also the investment is critical to implement the ambitious targets and policies, which we would work more actively on to attract their more sustainability. The role of academia and science is no doubt essential as the pillar of state policy. The government will take all necessary and appropriate actions to strengthen the ties to achieve its commitment of implementation. The government of Mongolia reassures its commitment to implement the resolutions and decisions adopted here at this UNEA and to support initiatives, campaigns, those aimed to bring the healthy environment to the country and the planet. Mongolia is one of the first countries joined to the Breathe Life and global campaign will take its utmost effort to implement and also hope to be a driver of the change. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency, for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Lloyd Kazia, Minister of Zambia. Excellency, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. The Executive Director of UNEP, honorable ministers from member states and governments, distinguished invited participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to address you on behalf of the people and government of the Republic of Zambia. My delegation is proud to be in Nairobi at this third meeting of the United Nations Environment Assembly, UNEA-3. We are grateful to the UNEP Secretariat for the excellent facilitation. We are also thankful to Government of the Republic of Kenya for the warm welcome and hospitality accorded to us. Mr. President, it is a great honor to share my country's view on this important thematic area towards a pollution-free planet. Allow me to highlight Zambians' action and voluntary commitments to pollution reduction. It is a scientific fact that when pollution, in whatever degree, goes unchecked, it results into gradual degradation of the environment. Consequently, there is intolerable risks to human, plant, and animal life, which at very extreme end become irreversible. The advent of industrialization and other related human activities has resulted in pollution that has ultimately upset the ecological system. Globally, inadequately controlled technology has compounded the depletion of the natural resources as well as the ozone layer, whose total depletion may lead to extinction of all forms of life. This is a global concern, and in contribution to the solution, Zambia on the path to implement measures that will help reduce the rate of the ozone layer depletion. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, here is a brief breakdown of Zambia's approach to pollution control. 1. Policy interventions. The Zambian government has put in place a comprehensive national policy on environment that has domesticated a number of multilateral environment agreements, including UNEA, in contribution to eradicating poverty and improving the quality of life of the Zambian people. The policy provides for safety nets for development priorities. In this connection, some of the objectives of the policy are to, 1, develop a system and guidelines for environmental assessment, audits, monitoring, and evaluation so that the adverse environmental impacts can be eliminated or mitigated and environmental benefits enhanced. 2, minimize the adverse impact of climate change and reduce air pollution and greenhouse emissions. 3, manage the use of water resource efficiently and effectively. 4, involve stakeholders, including civil society, private and local communities, in environmental management and planning. Under the climate change policy, Zambia has submitted its nationally determined contribution to the Paris Agreement. Legislation. The Environment Management Act number 12 of 2011 is a principal legislation on environment, and it provides, amongst others, extended producer responsibility, integrated environment management, strategic environmental and social impact assessment, and sustainable utilization of natural resources. In our context, Extended producer responsibility means actions that are extended a person's financial or physical responsibility for a product to be post-consumer stage of the product and includes 1. Waste minimization programs, 2. Financial contributions to
I'm sorry, His Excellency, the microphone is being shut off automatically.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll read this again. In our context, extended producer responsibility means actions that extend a person's financial or physical responsibility for a product to the post-consumer stage of the product, and this includes 1. Waste minimization programs, 2. Financial contributions to any fund established to promote the minimization, recovery, reuse, or recycling of waste, 3. Awareness programs to inform the public of the impacts of waste emanating from product or on human health and the environment, 4. Any other measures to reduce the potential impacts of the product on human health and environment. With this understanding, Zambia is in a process of elaborating by statutory instrument measures to limit the control of production, transportation, and utilization of certain plastics. We are cautious not to comprehensively ban plastics. You may wish to know that Zambia environmental law recognizes other laws supporting sustainable development. National development planning, the 7th National Development Plan has outlined specific programs aimed at controlling pollution in the country. In all development plans, Zambia has focused on sustainable programming. Notable programs done under national development plans so far include the following: the Copper Belt Environmental Project, which is aimed at addressing historical mining liabilities in Zambia, Integrated Land Use Assessment 2, and the United Nations Reducing Emission from Deforestation, Forest Degradation, aimed at addressing forest climate change issues. Let me highlight some of the specific prominent interventions that have addressed pollution control in Zambia. Lead pollution in Kabwe cleanup. A long history of mining has left a legacy of environmental liabilities in a number of mining towns in Zambia. Amongst them is Kabwe town. Studies have revealed unacceptable levels, high levels of lead in soil as a result of lead mining in the area. Government is dealing with the identified dominant exposure pathway for lead, that is air, direct injection of soil and dust through surface and underground irrigated crops. Mercury pollution from small-scale mining activities. Zambia participating in regional project on the development of national action plans for the artisanal and small-scale gold mining. This project is aimed at assisting participating countries to develop national action plans for reducing use of mercury and mercury compounds in accordance with Annex C of the Stockholm Convention. As I conclude...
His Excellency, kindly summarize.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Excellency, for your statement. I'm sorry for that. By the way, let me remind you that you can submit the longer version of your statement. You can submit that to the Secretariat, and we can upload it so that we can still record the complete statement of every member state. Again, I would like to say sorry. The microphone is being automatically shut down by the Secretariat. Again, let me now invite His Excellency Dr. Harsh Vardhan, Minister, India. His Excellency, you have the floor.
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to be here in Green City in the Sun, Nairobi. I thank His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, the President of Kenya, Dr. Edgar Gutierrez, Minister for Environment and Energy of Costa Rica, and the President of the 2017 UN Environment Assembly and UNEP for organizing this meeting. Friends, we are at a very critical stage in our efforts to combat environmental issues. Protecting Mother Earth is not just our political or social obligation, but it is our moral responsibility. This year's theme of UNEA-3 is Towards a Pollution-Free Planet, which needs collaborative and greater action. Scientific facts and figures clearly indicate that pollution causes impacts on human health and well-being and ecosystems of this planet, and it has long-term implications on sustainable developmental goals. We have only one planet, and our urgent collective actions are called for to ensure a healthy environment for present as well as our future generations. Today, there is a common acceptance that a healthy environment is necessary for eradicating poverty, taking into full account the legitimate priority and needs of developing countries and their rights to equitable access to sustainable development for the achievement of sustained economic growth and social progress. For this important deliberation, we must recall Mahatma Gandhi's words as guiding principles. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed, and be the change you want to see in the world. And such was his passion, vision, and understanding of the environment back in the days when nationalism overruled any global thinking, that his writings and thoughts are so relevant for almost all present-day environmental organizations, campaigns, and deliberations. We believe that the purpose of this Environment Assembly is to enhance cooperation amongst countries in order to strengthen and support the global response to the urgent threat of pollution. India has a long history and tradition of harmonious coexistence between man and nature. Human beings here have regarded fauna and flora as part of their family. This is part of our heritage and manifests in our lifestyle and traditional practices. Paris Agreement on Climate Change has also recognized the role of sustainable lifestyles and sustainable patterns of consumption and production in addressing climate change. India is committed to put forward and further propagate a healthy and sustainable way of living based on traditional values of conservation and optimal utilization of resources. Under the visionary leadership of our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, we have launched many policies and institutional mechanisms related to food, water, and energy security, climate change, integrating 3 dimensions of sustainability and capacity enhancement at national and state levels. These initiatives are a reflection of our commitments to tackle pollution and health-related issues. Allow me to mention a few path-breaking initiatives. Swachh Bharat Mission, National Mission for Clean Ganga, which aims to clean Ganga, and then India's NDC Center around India's policies and programs on promotion of clean energy, especially renewable energy, enhancement of energy efficiency, development of less carbon-intensive and resilient urban centers, promotion of waste to wealth, safe, smart, and sustainable green transportation network, abatement of pollution, and India's efforts to enhance carbon sink through creation of forest and tree cover. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I shall further elaborate some of these initiatives and programs that have direct implications on air pollution, water pollution, marine and coastal pollution, and chemical and waste pollution. Air pollution, we are considering to shift to 100% electric cars by 2030. We also launched India's first National Air Quality Index in April 2015 in over 30 cities. The Graded Response Action Plan is being implemented earnestly and meticulously by the Central Pollution Control Board. Similarly, the National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management has a vision and mission to aid in the better protection, conservation, rehabilitation, management, and policy design of the and demolition waste. India's largest waste-to-energy plant was launched at Delhi Narela in 2017 This project will use 2,000 metric tons of waste energy every day to generate 24 megawatts of energy. Friends, finally, given the commitments made under the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and other development agendas, India has been pursuing ambitious plans and expects actions from other developed and developing countries to fulfill their historic responsibility.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you, thank you. Again, let me tell you to please submit the long version. We want to record all your statements as much as possible, so we would need the copy of the long version of your statement, because I believe when the microphone is cut, it is not recorded anymore. So I would suggest that we still get your statement by submitting to us the long version so that we can upload it in our website. Thank you very much. Let me now invite His Excellency Mr. Socrates Famelios, Alternate Minister, Greece. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dear colleagues, dear Excellencies, UNEA-3 offers an excellent opportunity to address pollution as an environmental challenge with a social and economic dimension. Pollution is connected with human and mainly economic activities, but economy should not be considered as an enemy of ecology and environments. There are ways to achieve prosperity and growth other than the conventional growth model that is based on overconsumption and overexploitation of natural resources, that consume vital assets and create waste at the expense of the environment and next generations. Economy and environment are not opposite concepts. Likewise, entrepreneurship and climate policies are not opposing concepts, as poorly translated at the other side of the Atlantic. These are common roots, and states have both from business and environmental point of view, as well as for moral reason, to reconsider their decision of leaving the Paris Agreement and rejoin us, the rest of the planet, in the efforts to fight climate change. Both for climate and to prevent pollution, we need to act now, based on circular economy model, and use our knowledge not with the sole purpose of increasing profit, but the overall benefit of the society and the planet, taking into account the external cost. Pollution is not politically neutral. It has a strong political aspect. It is connected with the lack of environmental control, the lack of social justice, and the redistribution of wealth. Quite often, the predominant economic policies target unilaterality, fiscal stability, and forget all the other dimensions of SDGs. Another political reading is that rich people and wealthy states have to contribute to tackling pollution that has very often been created by their business in developing countries and generally in all the countries. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to raise the priority of the environment in public policy, linking it to all thematic policies, thinking globally. It is equally important to address local and global issues of pollution with more social justice and redistribution elements by the wealthiest classes and the richest countries to the poorest one, since those parts of the world's population are also more affected by pollution and climate change. It is imperative to focus first on prevention than on corrective actions later on. They cost much more and deliver worse. The polluter pays principle must be widely applied. The extended producer responsibility schemes take this notion a further step forward, as it ensures that the producers are responsible for organizing the management of the waste produced. Furthermore, we could see how to best align policies for sustainable industrialization to remove barriers from the transport and use of secondary raw materials, as well as support the integration of recyclable materials and circular economy models as means to promote resource efficiency and pollution prevention. The EU has a large toolbox of legislative measures for pollution prevention that could be used as examples to show the way forward at the planning level, the operational level, the organizational level, even at the level of consumption and monitoring. Another issue I would like to raise is the need for transparent, fair and inclusive environmental governance processes. To achieve this, we need a transparent, equal and fair treatment of the citizens and the economic operator. Environmental policy needs credibility in the society. We must promote ownership and stewardship. All of us should feel responsible and accountable. Only this way we can hope to change behavioral patterns and our sustainable habits. And of course, to strengthen awareness and education, particularly for the youth, and local initiatives to further employment in the pollution control and prevention. Each country must undertake voluntary initiative to address pollution. That's why Greece, even with a difficult economic situation, participated in initiatives to confirm through the connection with electric grid of the main islands, and of course, to air pollution and incidents of accidental marine pollution. To beat pollution, we must be all together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency, for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Mr. Jochen Plasbart, Vice Minister, Germany. Excellency, you have the floor.
President, colleagues, this year's Anti-Pollution Summit demonstrates impressively that we need to take better care of our planet. Visible and invisible environmental pollution affect us all. It endangers our health and jeopardizes the foundations of our lives. In addition to this, environment pollution is an issue of equity. Between countries and inside countries, it is the poorer and the disadvantaged that continue to be hit hardest. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that there is a momentum to take ambitious measures at local, national and international level. It is a matter of modernizing our infrastructure in an environmentally sound manner and ensuring production and lifestyle become more sustainable. We policymakers need to see to it that ambitious environmental standards are implemented and that ambition will increase over time, that compliance with these standards is monitored, and that the precautionary principle is taken seriously, and finally, that the voice of the public, the civil society and NGOs is heard. Colleagues, I'm delighted that Germany is also able to contribute to this anti-pollution summit. For instance, we organized just recently, as you know, COP23 of the CCC in Bonn in a way that ensured waste and pollution were kept at a minimum and that unavoidable greenhouse gas emissions are offset. We intend to host the International Nitric Oxide Conference in 2020, and we will support the 6th International Marine Debris Conference in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to announce that Germany will contribute with another 13 million euros to the UN Alliance page for the vital work of the United Nations on greening our economies. In addition, we are providing financial aid to the newly established International Sustainable Chemistry Collaborative Center in Bonn. We are planning to use funds from the International Climate Initiative to promote projects. Just to name two examples, it's the two projects in the areas of sustainable transport and climate and environmentally friendly cooling processes with the funding of up to 20 million euros each, respectively from 2019. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, looking at the clock, I don't see it, but I have the brutal example just prior to that. Finally, I want to call upon all parties to accept the ministerial declaration as it has been drafted. Now it has been drafted in a very careful way by our teams, and I think we all want to avoid another experience as we had at the last UNEA, so please be flexible and let us adopt the ministerial declaration. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, His Excellency, and thank you for your support. May I now invite His Excellency Mr. Mohammed bin Salim Al Tobi, Minister Oman, to deliver his national statement. Excellency, you have the floor.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. معالي رئيس الدورة، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، الحضور الكرام، يسعدني أصالة عن نفسي ونيابة عن أعضاء وفد بلدي سلطنة عمان أن أعبر عن شكرنا وتقديرنا للجهود العظيمة التي تبذلها جمعية الأمم المتحدة للبيئة لمناقشة القضايا البيئية ذات الأولوية، خاصة فيما يتعلق بضمان كوكب خال من التلوث. وأنتهز هذه الفرصة لأعبر عن الجهود التي يبذلها السيد إريك سولهايم المدير التنفيذي لبرنامج الأمم المتحدة للبيئة، متمنيا له التوفيق والنجاح في مهام عمله. السيدات والسادة، لقد أصبحت القضايا البيئية والتي من ضمنها أخطار التلوث بمختلف أشكاله خلال العقود الأخيرة أكبر تحدي يواجهه عالمنا المعاصر، وأصبحت تثير قلقا عالميا وتحتاج إلى تضافر جهود المجتمع الدولي من أجل مجابهة آثارها الضارة، بما فيها إدخال تغيرات في مجال السياسات والتشريعات وابتكار التكنولوجيا النظيفة من أجل كوكب خال من التلوث وتحقيق أهداف التنمية المستدامة. السيدات والسادة، لقد انتهجت السلطنة تحت قيادة حضرة صاحب الجلالة السلطان قابوس بن سعيد المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه مساراً تنموياً متوازناً يرتكز على مبدأ الموائمة بين مقتضيات التنمية في جميع المجالات وضرورة حماية البيئة من كافة أشكال التلوث والمحافظة على الموارد الطبيعية. ودعماً لهذا التوجه، فقد خصص جلالة السلطان جائزة تحت إشراف منظمة اليونسكو باسم جائزة السلطان قابوس لحماية البيئة كنموذج عالمي لمواقف السلطنة المشهودة في خدمة قضايا البيئة وفي مجال تحقيق كوكب خال من التلوث. فإن السلطنة قد أولت هذا الموضوع عناية خاصة، وذلك من خلال تعزيز التعاون التكنولوجي على كافة المستويات وتبادل المعلومات في مجال الأنشطة المسببة للتلوث، ودعم استحداث تكنولوجيا الإنتاج المتطورة والنظيفة بيئياً، ومساندتها الجهود الدولية في هذا الشأن. كما قامت السلطنة بوضع الأطر التشريعية لحماية البيئة ومكافحة التلوث للمحافظة على جودة الهواء والتربة والمياه والبيئة البحرية والإدارة السليمة للمواد الكيميائية والمخلفات، إلى جانب تخصيص مناطق صناعية متوافقة مع الاشتراطات البيئية، وإنشاء محطات ثابتة ومتنقلة لرصد تراكيز انبعاثات كافة أنواع الغازات وتكثيف عمليات الرقابة البيئية. كما عملت السلطنة على دعم توجيه الاستثمارات نحو تعزيز الشراكة بين القطاعين الحكومي والخاص في تنمية قطاع إدارة المخلفات والصرف الصحي وتشجيع مشاريع الطاقة المتجددة وأنماط الاستهلاك والإنتاج المستدامين. هذا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Dr. Estvan Nagy, Vice Minister Hungary, for his national statement. Excellency, you have the floor.
Tisztelt Elnök úr, Hölgyeim és Uraim! Megtiszteltetés számomra, hogy Magyarország kormányát képviselhetem az ENSZ 3. Környezetvédelmi Közgyűlésén, és üdvözlöm, hogy ezt a szennyezés elleni küzdelemnek szentelik. Magyarország környezetpolitikájának kiemelt célja, hogy az ország gazdasági fejlődése, a természeti erőforrások és értékek megőrzése, valamint fenntartható hasznosítása mellett menjen végbe. Engedjék meg, hogy néhányat ismertessek a szennyezés megelőzési és csökkentési intézkedéseink közül. Ezek egyben vállalásaink is, melyek kiegészítik az EU és tagállamai együttes vállalásait. A szemléletformálással és oktatással szeretném kezdeni, hiszen ezek kulcsfontosságúak annak érdekében, hogy mindenki megértse szerepét és felelősségét a környezet jobbátételében. Tervezzük a sikeres Fűts okosan kampányunk folytatását, mivel napjainkban a helytelen lakossági tüzelés a legnagyobb légszennyezési forrás. Folytatjuk a Teszed önkéntes hulladékgyűjtési akciót a Tiszta Magyarországért. A fenntartható közlekedés megvalósítását az autómentes nap, a bringáz munkába kampányokkal is erősíteni kívánjuk. Ökoiskola és zöld óvoda hálózatunk sikerére építve a fenntartható fejlődés oktatásának teljes, intézményes megvalósítására törekszünk. Magyarország földrajzi elhelyezkedéséből adódóan kiemelten fontos számunkra a nemzeti együttműködés, a határokon átterjedő környezeti kérdésekben. Ebben kezdeményező és aktív szerepet játszunk egyebek mellett a Helsinki vízügyi egyezmény és a Kárpátok egyezmény soros elnökeként. Igyekszünk mielőbb befejezni a légszennyezésről szóló Genfi Egyezmény 3 módosított jegyzőkönyvének ratifikálását is. Szorgalmazzuk a tiszta vízgyűjtő együttműködés fejlesztését az 5 érintett ország kooperációja révén, amely egyebek mellett hozzájárul a vízszennyezés határokon átterjedő hatásainak megelőzéséhez és ellenőrzéséhez is. Az adatgyűjtések és monitoring minőségének javítása érdekében fejlesztjük az állami környezetvédelmi laborhálózatot. A magyar kormány közlekedési energiahatékonyság növelési tervéből az elektromos autók és elektromos töltőállomások elterjesztését támogató e-mobilitási programot emelem ki. A szigorúbb előírások miatt a műanyag zacskók ingyenes forgalmazása jelentősen csökkent, és még további csökkentés várható. A lerakott hulladék mennyiségének és kockázatának további csökkentése érdekében kiterjesztjük a házhoz menő szelektív hulladékgyűjtésnek a rendszerét. Végezetül egy példa az agrárszektorból. Növeljük a helyi termelők szerepét a helyi élelmiszerellátásban, így csökken a szállítási igény és a kapcsolódó környezetterhelés is. Ezek az intézkedések hozzájárulnak a helyi munkahelyteremtéshez és az élelmiszerexport csökkenéséhez is. Tisztelt Hölgyeim és Uraim, korunkban világszerte, így Magyarországon is számos környezeti, társadalmi és gazdasági kihívással kell szembenézni, ami együttgondolkodást és közös cselekvést igényel minden szinten. Tegyünk ez irányba újabb lépéseket azáltal, hogy elfogadjuk és megvalósítjuk az ENSZ elé terjesztett miniszteri deklarációt és határozatokat, valamint a saját vállalásainkat. Köszönöm a megtisztelő figyelmüket. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency. May I now invite Dr. Hassim Al-Muhammadi, Vice Minister, Iraq, to deliver his national statement. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. أصحاب المعالي، السيدات والسادة أعضاء الوفود الموقرين، السلام عليكم. باسمي ونيابة عن حكومة جمهورية العراق أتقدم إليكم بخالص التحية وأتمنى لهذا المحفل البيئي النجاح في عكس ومعالجة الأزمات والمشاكل البيئية التي يتعرض لها كوكبنا لتحديد أهداف أجندة التنمية المستدامة 2030. في البداية فإن وفد بلادي يؤيد البيان العام الذي ألقاه مندوب الباكستان بالنيابة عن مجموعة 77 والصين، كما يؤيد وفد بلادي البيان العام الذي ألقاه مندوب سلطنة عمان بالنيابة عن مجموعة دول آسيا والباسفيك. كما أتقدم بالشكر الجزيل للجهود المخلصة التي قام بها برنامج الأمم المتحدة للبيئة للإعداد لهذا التجمع الكبير والمهم، والذي ينعقد في ظل تحديات بيئية كبيرة ظهرت آثارها السلبية ليس على البيئة فقط، بل امتدت لتطال كل منظومة الحياة البشرية السياسية والصحية والاجتماعية والاقتصادية، خصوصا في المجتمعات الهشة، بل وتعداها أيضا إلى المجتمعات والتنوع الإحيائي في ظل ازدياد تأثير التغيرات المناخية والتصحر والجفاف وقلة الموارد المائية على هذه المجتمعات. إن التنمية المجتمعية بكافة أبعادها تتطلب توحيد الجهود لمواجهة هذه التحديات البيئية، والتي سيكفل تجاوزها المساعدة على تحقيق أهداف التنمية المستدامة 2030، لا سيما في مجال مكافحة الفقر في المجتمعات الريفية والمساواة بين الجنسين، وتوفر حق أساسي من حقوق الإنسان ألا وهو العيش في بيئة خالية من التلوث، وتوفير متطلبات العيش الكريم، ومساعدة المجتمعات الأكثر تضرراً على الصمود بوجه هذه الأزمات. السيدات والسادة، إن العراق وكما تعلمون يواجه تحديات ومعوقات بيئية حقيقية وخطيرة ظهرت مؤخرا جراء العمليات الإرهابية التي استهدفت مدن ومناطق عديدة. هذا الإرهاب الأسود الذي استهدف البيئة بجميع مكوناتها وتسبب بازدياد كثير في التأثيرات والتغيرات المناخية، حيث أن العراق صنف ضمن أكثر الدول الخمسة الهشاشة في العالم تجاه التغيرات وفق تصنيف التوقعات البيئية الجيو 6، والذي أفرز ظاهرة جديدة وهي اللجوء المناخي. وهذه الظاهرة لا تقتصر على العراق بل تمتد إلى العديد من الدول بشكل ملحوظ نتيجة ازدياد الكوارث الطبيعية والجفاف والتصحر وقلة الموارد المائية وتهديد الأمن الغذائي للمجتمعات المتأثرة. وعلى الرغم من خطورة هذه التحديات، فإن العراق يعمل بجهود وطنية حثيثة في هذا المجال للتقليل من هذه الآثار والحفاظ على استدامة البيئة وتوفير ظروف ملائمة لعيش المواطن العراقي. السيدات والسادة، أن العراق يدعوكم إلى تبني محورين مهمين على المستوى البيئي الدولي، وهما محور الأمن والبيئة، حيث يعتبر العراق من أكثر بلدان العالم التي تعرضت بيئته للدمار الكبير نتيجة للإرهاب، فقد تسببت العمليات الإرهابية بتسرب مئات الأطنان من الملوثات وانتشارها على مساحات واسعة في منطقتي القيارة والشرقاط، والتي ترقى إلى مستوى الكوارث البيئية، كما تسببت بتدمير الأراضي الزراعية وتهديد الأمن الغذائي والحياة والتنوع البيئي. وهذا ما دعا الحكومة العراقية لتقديم مشروع قرار بمنع ومكافحة التلوث في المناطق المتضررة من العمليات الإرهابية والنزاعات المسلحة، ونأمل أن يحظى بدعم ومساندة الدول الأعضاء. ثانياً، دعم الدول الأكثر هشاشة وتحقيق العدالة المناخية والدعوة للالتزام بمبدأ المسؤولية المتباينة. وهنا فإن حكومة بلادي تدعوكم إلى التعاون لمواجهة أحد أهم المهددات لحقوق الإنسان، وهي التغيرات المناخية، وخاصة أن هذه البلدان الهشة تعاني بشكل كبير من ازدياد ظاهرة التصحر والجفاف والعواصف الغبارية وتهديد الأمن الغذائي وزيادة هجرة لاجئي المناخ، الأمر الذي يتطلب تقديم الدعم والإسناد الكامل من المجتمع الدولي لهذه البلدان، حيث تقع مسؤولية الحفاظ على حماية البيئة في كوكبنا على عاتق المجتمع والجميع لضمان حياة كريمة وصحية ولائقة لنا ولأجيالنا. في الختام، نتمنى أن تكلل اجتماعات الجمعية العامة المتحدة للبيئة الثالثة UNEA-3 بالنجاح، وندعم مقرراته وتوصياته التي تهدف إلى تحقيق بيئة نظيفة ومستدامة للجميع، وتساهم بدعم الشعوب الأكثر تضرراً من التغيرات المناخية وآثارها. وأن حكومة بلادي تدعو جميع الدول الأعضاء لتقديم المساعدة العاجلة لمعالجة هذه الآثار وإعادة تأهيل هذه المناطق المتضررة. شكراً جزيلاً.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you for your statement. Let me now invite Dr. Kabe, His Excellency Dr. Kabe Madani, Vice Minister, Iran. Excellency, you have the floor.
In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, Mr. President, Executive Director of the UN Environment, honorable ministers, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, allow me at the outset to express my profound gratitude to the people and government of Kenya for their hospitality. I also like to acknowledge the initiative of the UN Environment for orientation of this meeting towards a pollution-free planet. This theme is indeed in line with the national environmental priorities set by our Supreme Leader and President Rouhani's environmental roadmap that is focused on 4 pollution-related topics, namely air quality, sand and dust storms, wetlands, and waste. Excellencies, about 7 million people around the world are losing their lives annually due to air pollution, and that not only affects human health, but also impacts economy and productivity. At the same time, sand and dust storms, as one of the most significant but overlooked environmental problems of the 21st century, is imposing harmful effects on health, livelihood, food security, biodiversity, and ecosystem services, and is causing migration and relocation of people. Drying wetlands, lakes, and water bodies as a result of short-sighted development plans and aggressive water withdrawals is a serious challenge of many developing countries, and one of the major causes of the increasing sand and dust storms around the globe. Waste in various forms is now damaging our health, ecosystems, and oceans. In addition to plastic, the issue of e-waste is another major pollution problem with unknown long-term impacts and that requires our immediate attention. Mr. President, these issues constitute the 4 current environmental priorities of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and we welcome international and regional cooperation to tackle them. We strongly believe in the fact that environmental problems are transboundary and transgenerational and need to be solved through effective international cooperation mechanisms that are fair and not hampered by economic sanctions and politicization. Distinguished colleagues, earlier this year, and in close collaboration with the UN Environment, we hosted the International Conference on Combating Sand and Dust Storms in Tehran to address its challenges and implications on biodiversity and human livelihood. I would like to emphasize on a need for a global response to the issue of sand and dust storms through an international and UN system-wide action to address the major environmental challenge of the 21st century, which we are not yet prepared to properly cope with. In this context, Iran recommends the implementation of paragraph 4 of the resolution on combating sand and dust storms, which has been approved by the Second Committee of the General Assembly in its 72nd session. Ladies and gentlemen, We highly appreciate the efforts of the Third UN Environment Assembly to recognize and identify the means to tackle pollution challenges. Nevertheless, let's not forget that the real challenge is in the effective implementation of the recognized solution. We need to bridge the huge gap between science and policy and develop effective solution mechanisms that are financially and socially sustainable and involve the private businesses as well as civil societies. With no doubt, my government remains committed to providing full support for the successful implementation of the outcomes of this meeting towards the global peace, security, and sustainability. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Excellency. May I now invite His Excellency Thierry Dicu, Vice Minister, Argentina. We will call him later. May I now call on His Excellency Mr. Javier Garcia de Viera, Head of Delegation, Spain. His Excellency, you have the floor.
Señor Presidente de la Asamblea, señor Director del Programa de Naciones Unidas para el Medio Ambiente, ministros, altas autoridades, señoras y señores. En primer lugar, y antes de iniciar mi intervención, quiero trasladar a esta Asamblea que la Secretaria de Estado de Medio Ambiente lamenta profundamente no poder estar hoy aquí como había anunciado. España sufre una intensa sequía que se ha intensificado de una manera particularmente grave en las últimas semanas. El intenso trabajo que está realizando el Gobierno para afrontar esta delicada situación, que incluye la puesta en marcha de nuevas medidas de emergencia y la tramitación de una ley de medidas urgentes para aliviar las consecuencias de la falta de lluvias, ha impedido que la Secretaria de Estado haya podido viajar hasta Nairobi, y en su nombre les transmito los mejores deseos de éxito y les traslado su cordial saludo, así como la declaración que en nombre de nuestro Gobierno tenía previsto trasladar a esta Asamblea. Señor Presidente, lo dice el informe elaborado para esta tercera reunión de la Asamblea de Naciones Unidas para el Medio Ambiente y lo ha dicho su director ejecutivo. La contaminación es uno de los grandes desafíos a los que nos enfrentamos. Un problema global que afecta a la consecución de los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible de la Agenda 2030 y a la salud y bienestar de las personas y que tiene también importantes efectos económicos. Por ello, el lema de este encuentro es «Hacia un planeta libre de contaminación». Este lema coincide con las prioridades del Gobierno de España, que está adoptando todas las medidas necesarias para cumplir con los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible recogidos en la Agenda 2030 y que son básicas para avanzar hacia un planeta sin contaminación. Con este fin, en el marco de la política de protección del medio ambiente, España ha puesto en marcha, entre otras actuaciones, un plan de calidad del aire, los planes de impulso al medio ambiente y los proyectos clima para reducir las emisiones atmosféricas. El Programa Estatal de Prevención de Residuos, destinado a reducir el volumen de residuos sólidos generados, y el Plan de Medidas para el Crecimiento, la Competitividad y la Eficiencia, cuya finalidad es mejorar el tratamiento de aguas residuales urbanas y la calidad de las aguas en general. Además, el Gobierno de España está trabajando en la elaboración de la Estrategia Española de Economía Circular, cuyo objetivo es favorecer la transición hacia un modelo de desarrollo sostenible que permita maximizar los recursos naturales disponibles y reducir la generación de contaminantes. Todo esto equivale a trabajar por una mejor calidad de vida de los ciudadanos. La disminución de los niveles de contaminación es un objetivo irrenunciable. Por eso, el Gobierno español tiene la voluntad de reducirla lo máximo posible en el aire, en el suelo y en el agua. Para lograrlo, seguirá trabajando de forma coordinada con el resto de las administraciones españolas competentes y con toda la sociedad española. Y lo hará en línea con los objetivos establecidos en la Unión Europea y actuando sobre todas las fuentes de contaminación que tienen su origen en la actividad humana. Señor presidente, estamos convencidos de que la protección del medio ambiente es un aliado necesario e imprescindible para el desarrollo económico y social de la población mundial. De ahí que hoy, desde aquí, reafirmemos nuestro compromiso en la lucha contra la contaminación y nuestra voluntad de colaborar para conseguir una acción ambiciosa a nivel internacional para abordar estas cuestiones. En este sentido, España apoya sin fisuras la aprobación unánime por parte de nuestros ministros de la declaración ministerial que el presidente de UNEA ha liderado de manera transparente e inclusiva. Confiamos en que esta tercera reunión de la Asamblea de Naciones Unidas para el Medio Ambiente sea un éxito y refuerce la coordinación de los países y de todas las partes implicadas en la lucha contra este desafío. Muchas gracias.
I thank you, Excellency, for your statement. Now it's my honor to invite next speaker, His Excellency Thierry Decaud, Vice Minister for the Environment of Argentina. Excellency, you have the floor.
Señor Presidente, distinguidos ministros, delegados, excelencias, señores y señores. Es un honor para mí estar hoy acá, por primera vez representando a la República Argentina. Nuestro país se encuentra en una profunda etapa de transformación. Es un proceso de cambio hacia gestiones más eficientes, más responsables y más transparentes. En este contexto, resaltamos la necesidad de ser parte de la comunidad internacional, por lo que hemos vuelto a poner en la Argentina en el mundo. Hoy tenemos un gran compromiso y honor de estar atravesando el riguroso proceso de ingreso a la OCDE y presidir el G20 y el Foro de Ministros de Ambiente de Latinoamérica y Caribe, el PNUMA. Como Gobierno, entre otras medidas prioritarias, hemos impulsado avances de derechos humanos y en la solución pacífica de conflictos. Hemos fijado como meta erradicar la pobreza y brindar igualdad de oportunidades, prestando especial atención a los más vulnerables. Comprendemos, sin embargo, que nada de esto es posible sin un ambiente sano. Por eso, estamos encarando una reforma sustancial en la Argentina. Estamos encarando un paquete de 4 leyes. Una nueva ley de residuos peligrosos que promueve su gestión integral y establece el fin de condición de residuos, porque bien gestionados son recursos. Una ley de sitios contaminados que establece un fondo nacional y una herramienta para favorecer las inversiones en pos del saneamiento. Una ley de responsabilidad extendida del productor y un nuevo marco normativo para la correcta gestión de productos químicos a lo largo de todo su ciclo de vida. Todo esto que sabemos que falta de información, de reglas claras de control hacia la gestión incorrecta de recursos, y esto deriva en contaminación, el origen de las problemáticas ambientales que hoy tanto nos preocupan. Asimismo, destacamos la necesidad de eliminar la exposición a las pinturas y a las baterías con plomo, y reforzamos nuestro compromiso para atacar problemáticas como sitios contaminados, basura marítima, contaminación del agua y del aire y biodiversidad. Estamos con todo comprometidos a promover un cambio de paradigma en el cual los sistemas productivos y las actividades humanas se acerquen cada vez más a funcionar como los circuitos que ocurren en la naturaleza. Celebramos entonces que el eje temático de esta reunión sea la contaminación y que se haya puesto en foco elaborar las problemáticas que hacen a la calidad del ambiente y los recursos naturales. El mundo se ha dado cuenta de los esfuerzos y los recursos tienen que estar en primer eslabón de la cadena, en la prevención, en la gestión ambientalmente eficiente de los productos químicos y de los residuos peligrosos, en mitigación de la contaminación. Hoy en la Argentina vivimos los efectos del descuido del ambiente que a nivel mundial hemos temido durante años. Sabemos que cambiar es difícil, es incómodo, pero el mundo no puede seguir esperándonos. Para que tengamos éxitos debemos unir esfuerzos y trabajar juntos. Celebramos este encuentro, fomentamos que estos espacios que nos permiten construir una hoja de ruta en común a través del consenso, de la mano de la comunidad de las Naciones Unidas. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now I have a pleasure to invite Madame Nassere Kaba, Head of Delegation of Côte d'Ivoire. Madame, the floor is yours.
Monsieur le Président, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs,
la question de la protection de l'environnement est devenue un enjeu prioritaire dans la mesure où la nature elle-même nous envoie des signaux, comme pour nous dire « stop ». Il y a des limites à ne pas franchir. Nous en avons pour preuve l'élévation du niveau de la mer, le réchauffement climatique, les pluies acides et les inondations, pour ne citer que cela. Autant de réalités de notre époque qui appellent à un changement pressant de nos modes de consommation et de production. Aussi, plusieurs initiatives marquantes au niveau international témoignent-elles de la prise de conscience, notamment le cadre d'action de Sendai, l'accord de Paris, les 17 objectifs du développement durable, l'agenda 2063 de l'Union africaine. Mesdames et messieurs, je voudrais remercier l'ONU Environnement pour son appui suite au déversement de déchets toxiques dans le district d'Abidjan en 2006. Cet appui s'est traduit par l'audit des sites impactés par le déversement et a montré que la dépollution a été faite conformément aux normes. À cela, il convient d'ajouter l'évaluation environnementale post-conflit pour connaître les impacts environnementaux d'une décennie de crise qu'a connue la Côte d'Ivoire. Monsieur le Président, la lutte contre la pollution dans mon pays s'est traduite, entre autres, par la mise en place d'un cadre institutionnel et juridique à travers la création d'un centre national de contrôle de la pollution créé depuis 1991 pour l'évaluation de la qualité des milieux récepteurs, le développement d'un plan national d'intervention d'urgence de lutte contre les pollutions accidentelles par les hydrocarbures et autres produits dangereux, la ratification de plusieurs accords internationaux relatifs à la protection de l'environnement, la prise d'instruments juridiques contraignants, à savoir le Code de l'environnement et ses décrets d'application, tels que le décret portant interdiction de la production, de l'importation et de la commercialisation, de la détention et de l'utilisation des sachets plastiques, le décret portant étude d'impact environnemental et social de tout projet de développement, l'adoption de la loi relative à l'aménagement, à la protection et à la gestion intégrée du littoral, des travaux d'aménagement du milieu marin et côtier pour l'assainissement de la lagune autour d'Abidjan et la mise en place d'un cadre de concertation entre le secteur privé et l'État pour la prise en compte de l'environnement au niveau des activités économiques. Mesdames et messieurs, je voudrais nous exhorter à plus de responsabilités pour établir une relation harmonieuse avec Mère Nature, sans laquelle notre survie est menacée. Je vous remercie pour votre aimable attention.
Thank you very much, Madam. May I now invite, next on our list is His Excellency Mr. Vo Duan Nan, Vice Minister of Vietnam, but due to some current problems with voice, I invite on his name Director General for the International Cooperation Department, Pham Phu Binh, to present this national statement. Mr. You have the floor.
Thank you. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege for me, on behalf of the government of Vietnam, to attend the third session of the UNEA. I would like to sincerely thank the UN Environment for inviting our delegation to this important event, and together with the government of Kenya for their excellent joint arrangement for this important conference. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is facing enormous intertwined challenges of climate change, pollution, environment degradation, and natural resources and biodiversity depletion, while bringing about the much-wanted development. Rapid economic growth in the context of these challenges is creating even more challenges to the sustainable development of Vietnam, as well as for many other developing countries. In responding to these challenges and in order to transform our development model towards more sustainable, Vietnam has issued a number of important policies, namely the Strategy on Environmental Protection, the Strategy and National Action Plan on Green Growth, the National Action Plan to implement the Sustainable Development Goals, the Strategy and National Action Plan on Climate Change, and the Strategy for Renewable Energy Development. In accordance with these strategies and plans, Vietnam is strongly promoting sustainable economic development in close connection with environmental protection and pollution control. with a resolute commitment not to compromise the environment in exchange for short-term benefits. And environmental protection, pollution prevention, and control must be taken into consideration during the whole development process. At the national level, Vietnam is stepping up its economic restructuring and institutional arrangement, facilitating real development, efficient use of energy and resources, and mitigation of greenhouse gas emissions and other pollutions. Our aim is to raise people's living standards, promote an environment-friendly lifestyle, and improve competitiveness of the economy through investing in measures such as technological innovation, natural and human capital. We are committed to work closely with our regional partners in making greater efforts to address urgent issues of regional dimension, including air pollution and water resources management, with concrete regional action for an environment-friendly and peaceful region. We are also committed as a responsible partner to join our global efforts with international community in addressing global challenges through bilateral, multilateral, and international cooperation mechanisms so as to join hands for a pollution-free planet. With the spirit of cooperation, friendship, and solidarity, Vietnam believes that the third UNEA will be successful in attaining our joint objectives. Vietnam is looking forward to closer cooperation as well as further support to realize the outcomes of our meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your statement. May I now invite Mr. Karma Tsering, Head of Delegation of Bhutan. Sir, you have the floor.
Mr. President, Executive Director of UNEP, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to deliver this country's statement on behalf of my minister who had to cancel his trip at last hours. For this, we would like to apologize. This morning, we had heard a very, very inspirational and very encouraging statements from many of the leaders. It is indeed a testimony for all to show the country's seriousness towards the environmental concerns. The Kingdom of Bhutan is a mountainous and landlocked country with small scattered population who are dependent on the natural resources, forests, and environment. Our 5-year development plan, which is guided by the principle of gross national happiness, is based on the premise that the true development can take place when social, economic, cultural, and environment well-being occur placed side by side to complement and enforce each other. Mr. President, this year's theme towards pollution-free planet is very timely when many of the developing countries are faced with serious issues of air pollution. For instance, we are all aware that air pollution is one of the serious and world's single largest environmental killer, causing 7 million deaths each year. This is also stated by the Executive Director this morning. Air pollution is becoming one of the emerging issues for Bhutan. Its quality is deteriorating, particularly in urban centers and industrial areas. We are seeing increasing number of patients from respiratory diseases and air pollution-related diseases. Royal Government of Bhutan is taking numerous initiatives for cleaner air. This include development of low-emission development strategies for transport and industry sector, roadmap for controlling vehicular emission, including promotion of electric vehicle, implementation of air quality standards, and improved data management system. We have strong political will, but we do lack fund, technology, and technical experts. With support from our developed partners and international communities, we can assure our sincere effort to bring down this environmental killer, the air pollution. Mr. President, the experience worldwide has shown that climate change is hitting mountain ecosystem. Biodiversity is eroding, and farmers are suffering from loss of crop harvest due to erratic weather patterns. I call on distinguished delegates to support discourse on mountain ecosystem under the 3 Rio Convention and harmonize activities of the 3 Convention, since at the end of the day, all the actions has to converge. And this is in line with the press release of 3 years of Rio Sister Convention at COP23 in Bonn this year. We have committed to remain carbon neutral, state way back in 2009 at Copenhagen in COP15. We have launched Bhutan for Life on November 11, 2017. Bhutan for Life is an innovative financial mechanism to finance protected areas in permanence, and it is first of its kind in Asia. We hope it is going to be a model for rest of Asia-Pacific countries to follow, so that our regional healthy ecosystem and rich biodiversity are conserved and sustainably used for many years to come. Mr. President, the figures we have for the consumption of natural resources are alarming. Our action must shift to sustainable practice. Promoting sustainable consumption pattern and mainstreaming environmental issues into policy making can help achieve the shift. Bhutan has initiated several initiatives, and we are moving towards ensuring sustainable consumption and production.
Okay, so time is finished. Thank you very much, sir, for your statement. Now I have the honor to invite His Excellency Ahmad Mohammad Al-Sada, Assistant Under Secretary of Environment Affairs of Qatar. Sir, you have the floor.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السيد الرئيس، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسرني في البداية أن أغتنم هذه الفرصة لأعرب عن شكري وتقديري لجمعية الأمم المتحدة للبيئة ولذلك لما تبذله من جهود، كما أشكر جمهورية كينيا حكومة وشعبا على كرم الضيافة وحسن الاستقبال. كما أتوجه بالشكر إلى معالي الوزير الدكتور إدغار غوتريس وزير البيئة والطاقة بجمهورية كوستاريكا على جهوده خلال فترة ترأسه للجمعية. السيد الرئيس، إن وجودنا اليوم جميعا على هذه المنصة وتحت مظلة الأمم المتحدة يعد دليلا دامغا على اقتناعنا كمجتمع دولي بضرورة العمل يدا بيد للحفاظ على البيئة وحمايتها بالشكل الذي يكفل المنفعة للأجيال الحالية والمقبلة. كما أننا نؤمن بضرورة التكاتف والتعاون من أجل التصدي للتحديات البيئية على جميع الأصعدة الوطنية والإقليمية والعالمية، وذلك عبر وضع وتنفيذ الاستراتيجيات والمبادرات وخطط العمل والبرامج الطامحة إلى تحقيق الأبعاد البيئية في خطة التنمية المستدامة 2030 وموائمتها مع الظروف الوطنية لكل دولة بالشكل الذي يحقق مبدأ المسؤولية المشتركة ولكن المتباينة في سبيل الحفاظ على البيئة والدفع بعالمنا نحو مستقبل أفضل ومستدام. السيدات والسادة، لا يفوتني هنا أن أشيد بالجهود التي بذلت للخروج بالإعلان تحت شعار نحو كوكب خال من التلوث، والذي سيمثل أحد أهم الركائز في سبيل تعزيز دورنا في الحفاظ على البيئة ومكافحة التلوث، والذي لا يخفى عليكم تداعياته المباشرة على جميع مكونات البيئة ومقومات الحياة على كوكبنا، إضافة إلى ما سيظهر هذا الإعلان من استعدادنا الجاد كمجتمع دولي وعدم التواني في التصدي للتلوث البيئي بمختلف أشكاله وسلوك نهج واضح لحماية كوكبنا. الحضور الكرام، إننا في دولة قطر وإدراكا منا بأهمية المساهمة على الصعيد العالمي في مكافحة التلوث البيئي بأنواعه وتقليل آثاره على كوكب الأرض، قد حرصنا على تناغم نمونا الاقتصادي مع الحفاظ على البيئة، حيث جعلنا حماية البيئة وتنميتها أحد أهم الركائز في رؤيتنا الوطنية 2030 واستراتيجيتنا التنموية، إضافة إلى تنفيذ العديد من الممارسات البيئية في نفس الوقت بالشكل الذي يعكس طموحات شعب دولة قطر والأجيال القادمة، حيث تقوم الحكومة بإدارة منشأة حديثة لمعالجة النفايات تشغل 3 كيلومترات مربع وتتمكن من معالجة 5300 طن من النفايات في اليوم. كما قامت بوضع أجهزة حديثة لرصد ومراقبة التلوث وتعمل على التصدي للتلوث من خلال وضع تشريعات خاصة بتقليل الانبعاثات وإعادة تدوير النفايات. الحضور الكرام، شهدت مدينة الدوحة توقيع 18 دولة من ضمنها دولة قطر على وثيقة إنشاء التحالف العالمي للأراضي الجافة بتاريخ 15/10 لهذه السنة. تتضمن أهداف التحالف الاشتراك في الابتكارات التكنولوجية البحثية الجديدة المرتبطة بالاحتياجات الدول الأعضاء في التحالف، وذلك في مجالات الطاقة والمياه والزراعة والبيئة والأمن الغذائي، وذلك إيمانا منا بأهمية القيام بدور فعال على الصعيد العالمي في حماية البيئة وتنميتها ومكافحة التلوث. ختاما أكرر شكري وتقديري للمنظمين والقائمين على هذه الدورة، متمنين للجميع النجاح مع الأمل بخروج بنتائج مثمرة ورؤيتنا تقودنا نحو كوكب خال من التلوث. شكرا سيدي الرئيس.
Thank you, Excellency, for that statement. May I now invite His Excellency Mr. Anura Disayanake, Head of Delegation Sri Lanka. Excellency, you have the floor.
Your Excellency, President of Assembly, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. Mr. Chair, the Assembly as apex body determines global policy on the environment and has chosen timely and relevant theme collective deliberations in this year towards pollution-free planet. Indeed, the adoption of a political declaration on pollution as the outcome of this Assembly will strengthen the nation's commitments adherent to international undertakings and end air, land and sea pollution. It will help us to safely manage chemicals and organic waste everywhere. The resolution that have been proposed by the member states to improve on global environmental governance, and the government of Sri Lanka joined other member states to support the resolutions. Mr. Chair, we in Sri Lanka are moving towards the goal of sustainable society with our national commitments under the leadership of His Excellency the President Maithripala Sirisena as the Minister of Environment. After signing the Paris Agreement, each successive year, our government has introduced progressive environmental policies, culminating to formulation of national budget of 2018 to make an ambitious shift away from the fossil fuel economy to become a circular economy under the theme Blue-Green Enterprise Sri Lanka. Even our National Climate Change Adaptation Plan for 2016 to 2025 has been developed in line with the guidelines set forth by the UNEA-3, and it is a major step forward in achieving national objectives by minimizing impacts of climate change on human life, ecosystems, natural assets, and the economy. To protect our citizens from the health hazard posed by excessive use of agrochemicals, pesticides, and weedicides in agriculture, the government launched a Toxic-Free Nation initiative 2 years ago and succeeded in encouraging organic farms and responsible agricultural practices. The government of Sri Lanka is exploring the possibility of creating collaborations and exchange with competent international and national institutions, and we are making every effort to exchange scientific and best practice experiences in the field of soil management to increase soil fertility and land productivity. As a signatory to the United Nations Convention for Combating Desertification, we reaffirm our commitment to sustainable development goals to achieve land degradation neutrality by 2024. Mr. Chair, Sri Lanka ratified the Minamata Convention on Mercury this year in June as the 60th country. Actions have been taken to phase out mercury-containing instruments in health sector, education sector, and the jewelry industry. Further, the government of Sri Lanka is in the process of ratifying the Kigali Amendment of the Montreal Protocol to phase down the production of and consumption of hydrocarbons, which are potential global warming substances. This Assembly would be glad to know that Sri Lanka is one of the few countries that has improved the quality of air in urban areas. Because of our bold decisions that we took to improve the quality of diesel for vehicles have led to free gasoline since 2002 and striving to achieve Euro 4 standard by 2020. Mr. Chair, we are acutely aware of the risks posed to our coastline from the busy east-west sea line that locate within our southern territorial waters. The government of Sri Lanka, with other South Asian countries, is in the process of implementing a South Asia oil spilling contingency plan. With blue whales and other rare marine mammal species making the home around our coast, the Sri Lanka is a biodiversity hotspot that needs urgent action. The Assembly will be happy to hear that Sri Lanka has banned the use of polythene products, including oxo-biodegradable plastics and extended polystyrene this year, because our commitment to protect our oceans. Sri Lanka has embarked on an ambitious effort to add 200,000 hectares of new green cover as part of our commitment to Bond Challenge. In conclusion, on behalf of the government of Sri Lanka, I wish to extend our appreciation to UNEP for continued support given to Sri Lanka to manage its environmental and natural resources.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you. Thank you for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Roald Lapierre, Head of Delegation, Netherlands. His Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and Excellencies, distinguished colleagues. Let me first of all take the opportunity to thank the government of Kenya for hosting this third United Nations Environmental Assembly, and also extend our sincere appreciation to the Executive Director, Mr. Erik Solheim, as well as the Secretariat for all the fine work they've done in preparation of this meeting. This year's theme, Towards a Pollution-Free Planet, addresses some of the most pressing issues we are currently facing. Pollution affects every single living being on this planet. To beat or not to beat pollution is the very question we're all facing. We all know that action will be required by all relevant stakeholders to beat pollution. Let's work together in finding solutions while creating opportunities for new jobs, sustainable economic growth, and better health for all. A successful UNEA goes beyond adapting the ministerial declaration, resolutions or decisions. In 5 years' time, we need to be able to celebrate UNEA-3, to celebrate this very meeting, as the launch of a truly global offensive against pollution. And in this respect, Mr. President, I would like to show our continued support to your efforts in leading an inclusive and transparent process towards a ministerial outcome document that we hope can be adopted by consensus tomorrow. Beating pollution requires collaboration, experimentation, and innovation. We will engage with relevant countries and the private sector on greening our economies. And in this regard, I would like to say that we're very proud to be hosting the Global Center of Excellence on Climate Adaptation. With the United Nations, with UN Environment and other countries and parties, we're working on further expanding this Global Center of Excellence on Climate Adaptation in the months and years to come. Mr. President, in concluding, the Netherlands remains very committed to beat pollution and work with all of you towards a pollution-free planet. Thank you. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Excellency. May I now call on Excellency Wilfred Derry, Head of Delegation, Monaco. Excellency, you have the floor.
Monsieur le Président de l'Assemblée des Nations Unies pour l'Environnement, Monsieur le Directeur exécutif de l'ONU Environnement, Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres, Mesdames et Messieurs les ambassadeurs, chers collègues, force est de constater que la pollution sous toutes ses formes est un fléau universel que nous avons créé et qui porte atteinte chaque jour à la vie de milliers de personnes. Les êtres humains ne sont pas les seuls affectés et en subir les conséquences. La pollution affecte des centaines d'espèces, notamment migratrices, lesquelles sont essentielles à l'équilibre de notre planète. Par exemple, plus d'1 million d'oiseaux marins et de 100 000 mammifères marins sont victimes des déchets plastiques chaque année. Notre planète entière est affectée. C'est pour cela que la lutte contre la pollution doit se faire à tous les niveaux et pour tous nos écosystèmes. Cette lutte doit être menée conjointement par les États, les organisations internationales, la société civile et les acteurs économiques. Comme soulevé dans votre rapport, Monsieur le Directeur exécutif, Il est maintenant temps d'appliquer une approche globale, celle de un monde et une seule santé. Il est urgent d'intensifier les recherches scientifiques ciblées pour accroître nos connaissances et mettre en œuvre les mesures requises pour lutter contre ce fléau. C'est pourquoi la Principauté de Monaco tient à vous remercier, Monsieur Solheim, pour ce rapport qui propose un cadre d'action important et une base solide pour lutter contre la pollution. Monsieur le Président, les changements climatiques exacerbent les impacts économiques, sociaux et environnementaux de la pollution. Monaco est convaincu que la mise en œuvre efficiente de l'accord de Paris aura un impact positif, notamment sur la santé de notre planète et de ce fait des populations. Il est essentiel à cet égard de favoriser les actions d'atténuation et d'adaptation qui génèrent des bénéfices conjoints directs sur la santé, tant de l'homme que des écosystèmes. Monaco soutient depuis plusieurs années le travail qu'effectue l'OMS dans le domaine de la protection de la santé face aux conséquences du changement climatique et de la pollution atmosphérique. Cette coopération s'est encore accentuée par la désignation du Centre scientifique de Monaco en qualité de centre collaborateur de l'OMS pour la santé et le développement durable. La Principauté, en tant que cité-État, est confrontée aux mêmes problématiques environnementales que toutes les métropoles. Aussi, le gouvernement princier mène-t-il une politique volontariste de développement durable visant à limiter les différentes sources de pollution. À titre d'exemple, cette politique se traduit par une promotion forte des transports en commun, la mise en œuvre de plans de circulation s'adaptant aux flux de déplacement, le développement de liaisons publiques mécanisées, ainsi que des mesures financières incitatives pour l'acquisition de véhicules propres. Monsieur le Président, la Principauté de Monaco, État naturellement tourné vers la mer de par sa situation géographique, est particulièrement convaincue que des mesures immédiates pour contrecarrer l'effet néfaste de la pollution marine sont nécessaires. La pollution marine, y compris la pollution plastique et microplastique, est l'une des menaces les plus importantes pesant sur les océans et les mers. Au niveau national, la lutte contre les déchets plastiques prend plusieurs formes. À titre d'exemple, je citerai simplement l'interdiction d'utilisation des sacs plastiques en Principauté depuis le début de l'année. Seuls les sacs compostables restent autorisés et dès 2020, tous les ustensiles jetables de cuisine en matière plastique seront interdits. Également, l'État accompagne par des démarches les changements de mode de consommation afin de diminuer la production de déchets. Enfin, Monsieur le Président, la Principauté de Monaco souhaite réaffirmer son soutien à la mise en œuvre de l'ODD 14. Elle se félicite de l'adoption de la déclaration Call for Action de la Conférence des Nations Unies qui lui était dédiée, qui, entre autres, exhorte les États à prendre les mesures nécessaires pour lutter contre toutes les sources de pollution. L'ONU Environnement a un rôle majeur à jouer dans la mise en œuvre de cet appel à l'action. Je vous remercie.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Dr. T. Suka Mangisi, Head of Delegation, Tonga. Excellency, you have the floor.
Mr. President, allow me to congratulate you at the outset on your assumption of the presidency, and let me assure you of my delegation's full support. We align our statement with those delivered by Pakistan as chair of G77 in China and Oman as chair of the Asia-Pacific Group. Mr. President, the Kingdom of Tonga wishes to highlight 6 points. 1, we welcome and endorse the theme of this session towards a pollution-free planet. It is timely and relevant in light of the persistent and continuing effects and impacts of pollution that detrimentally affects the health and well-being of our people and our planet. 2, the interconnected nature of our planet and its various ecosystems calls for integrated global, regional, and national actions to combat the scourge of pollution. We take note of the proposed framework by the Executive Secretary in his report in that regard. 3, as a small island developing state, the Kingdom of Tonga is greatly dependent on a healthy natural environment, particularly that of the ocean. However, the ever-increasing pace of economic and technological advancements has brought about various forms of pollution, resulting in detrimental impacts to our land and our ocean, which further compounds many other stresses, such as climate change, on Tonga's environment. 4, we recognize the strategic and synergistic implementation of existing national, regional, and international frameworks, including the 2030 Agenda, the Paris Agreement, the Samoa Pathway, the Call for Action Outcome Document of the UN Ocean Conference, and the Clean Pacific Strategy 2025 as vital in advancing our efforts to beat pollution in all its forms. 5, we are of the view that the development of new frameworks to address gaps in existing frameworks on pollution is vital to ensure all forms of pollution are addressed. In so saying, we wish to highlight current developments under international law, such as the development of an internationally legally binding instrument to address the conservation and sustainable use of the biodiversity in areas beyond national jurisdiction, and the development of exploitation regulations by the International Seabed Authority to set out appropriate actions to address plumes resulting from seabed mining. And finally, 6, the capacity to address these various forms of pollution remains a challenge for us due to our limited resources. The continuation of existing and the development of new forms of assistance through genuine and durable partnerships with development partners, amongst many others, is vital in enhancing Tonga's effort to beat pollution to attain a pollution-free Tonga and thereby contributing towards a pollution-free planet. I thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, His Excellency, for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Mr. Yasuo Takahashi, Vice Minister, Japan. Excellency, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to give an address here on behalf of the government of Japan. The theme of this assembly, Towards a Pollution-Free Planet, is the biggest challenge facing humanity today. Japan experienced severe industrial pollution such as Minamata disease during the past rapid industrialization and overcame it. I believe that our experience can provide beneficial lessons for the world's sustainable development. Now, I would like to underline 5 areas that Japan regards important towards a pollution-free planet. First, Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, are very important for all countries because they indicate the actions and objectives toward 2030. The government of Japan adopted the SDGs implementation guiding principle in December 2016 under the leadership of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and it hopes to simultaneously resolve multiple challenges pertaining not only to the environment, but also to economic and social issues by taking the required action promptly. Especially in Asia, air pollution such as PM2.5 has become a critical problem together with rapid economic growth. It is important to share the scientific evaluation and solutions based on it within the region while aiming to enhance the scientific knowledge. Japan will continue to address the air pollution problems in cooperation with other countries through regional frameworks such as the Asia-Pacific Clean Air Partnership, APCAP. Addressing marine litter problems is also important. Japan is actively participating in the Northwest Pacific Action Plan, NOPAP. Also, under the framework of G7 and G20, Japan is promoting actions towards harmonizing the monitoring methodologies of microplastics internationally. We will continue to share these outcomes of our efforts widely with international society, including the UNEP, UN Environment. The Minamata Convention on Mercury. This year, the Minamata Convention on Mercury entered into force. This is a big step forward in the efforts to achieve a pollution-free planet. And it is crucial that many more countries participate in the convention to make steady steps forward in the fight against mercury problems. Japan will further make contributions to this issue by utilizing all the knowledge and the resources we have while cooperating with the international agencies. Last but not least, improving the environmental infrastructure is very important because it can help developed countries avoid industrial pollutions caused by the rapid urbanization and economic growth and meet the high level of needs in waste management at the same time. the Ministry of the Environment of Japan released the basic strategy of environmental infrastructure for overseas development in July this year. Japan will exert all efforts to support countries for promoting the introduction of environmental infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, environmental pollution is a problem that we must solve, but it is also a chance to make economic growth and innovation happen if we address it. Like the principle of SDGs, we must aim to solve problems of our environment, economy, and society at the same time. Japan has advanced the technologies and know-how accumulated through our experiences in overcoming the difficult times of industrial pollution. We hope that many more countries take advantage of our technologies and experiences. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, His Excellency, for your statement. May I now invite Her Excellency Dr. Pindi Chana, Head of Delegation, Tanzania.
Mr. President, first of all, I bring you greetings from the President of United Republic of Tanzania, His Excellency Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, and the government and the people of Tanzania. Mr. President, today the world's Minister of Environment are gathered for the third session of the United Nations Environment Assembly to discuss the path towards a pollution-free planet. We welcome the progress that has been made by the international community to reduce pollution. We need to drastically accelerate our effort if we want to secure a pollution-free planet for our ecosystem and our people. We commit to working with all stakeholders to explore and implement every possible solution to prevent and control pollution in all areas, namely air, land, soil, fresh water, and oceans. Mr. President, in response to the serious and growing impact of pollution and its cross-border nature, the government of United Republic of Tanzania has ratified and is committed in implementing several multilateral environmental agreement and regional agreement aimed at addressing the aspect of the threat posed by pollution. Like in many of the developing countries, in Tanzania, environmental pollution has significant negative effect on the quality of water, air, land, and on the quality of life in general. In response to the challenges posed by pollution in Tanzania, several policies, legislation, programs, and strategies have been put in place. These include National Environment Policy of 1997, which currently is under review, and the Environmental Management Act of 2004, and its regulation on environmental pollution control, which include air, water, soil quality regulation, solid waste management, hazardous wastewater management, and noise and vibration regulations. The government continues to strengthen national capacity for effective control of environment pollution, promote cleaner production technologies in all socio-economic sectors, strengthen enforcement of relevant legislation and environmental quality standards, promote stakeholders' participation in control of environment pollution, and promote integrated land use planning in urban development. Mr. President, it is an undeniable fact that UNEP support has played a critical role in facilitating Tanzania and other developing countries to meet their obligation related to control environment pollution. The continued request for developing countries, and in particular African countries, including Tanzania, is the need to ensure that considerable technical and financial support is extended in our undertake various pollution programs. We therefore urge UNEA through UNEP and other development partners to continue developing technical and financial support to implement the resolution of the Assembly. Mr. President, friends and colleagues, in conclusion, Tanzania will continue to participate actively in all regional and global process and effort to promote environmentally sound management of all kinds of waste. We will also continue to honor our obligation and commitment to multilateral agreement to which we are party. The future of generation will judge us by whatever decision we take today. Therefore, let us act responsibly. It can be done. Let's play our part. Once again, I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Ambassador Saleh Al-Harti, Head of Delegation, Arab Group. Excellency, you have the floor.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب المعالي والسعادة المندوبين الدائمين للبعثات الدبلوماسية لجمعية الأمم المتحدة، الأخوة أعضاء الوفود، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أود بداية بالنيابة عن أعضاء المجموعة العربية نتقدم بالشكر الجزيل لكافة الأخوة الذين حضروا اجتماعاتنا هذه، كما أود أن أتقدم بالشكر الجزيل لجمهورية كينيا على استضافتها لأعمال هذه الدورة وعلى حسن الاستقبال والضياف وعلى ما قدمته من تسهيلات أسهمت وبشكل كبير في إنجاح أعمال هذه الدورة. في اجتماعنا المنعقد صباح يوم أمس الاثنين الموافق 4 ديسمبر 2017 أقرت المجموعة العربية العديد من التوصيات، حيث ثمنت الدور الكبير الذي يقوم به رئيس الجمعية أدغار غوتيريز في رئاسته للدورة الثانية وجهوده في إعداد البيان الوزاري، باعتباره يوجه رسالة ذات مضمون تساهم في رفع الوعي بقضايا البيئة وحمايتها. كما تثمن الدور الذي يقوم به السيد إريك سولهايم المدير التنفيذي لبرنامج الأمم المتحدة للبيئة وتمتعه بالروح العالية والجدية المهنية التي يتمتع بها في معالجة جميع الموضوعات. وتؤكد المجموعة من خلال هذا التجمع على دعمها للنهج المتوازن الذي يتبناه، وتعرب من خلال هذا المنبر عن تعاونها معه لإنجاح مشروعات البرنامج. وتشيد المجموعة العربية بالجهود الكينية في دعم برنامج الأمم المتحدة للبيئة وحرصها على إنجاح هذه الاجتماعات، باعتبارها الدولة المستضيفة لهذا التجمع العالمي الهام. وكما تشكر المجموعة العربية كذلك الدول الصديقة التي لها مبادرات مشابهة تحد من تلوث البيئة. وتؤكد حرص المجموعة العربية على دعم برنامج الأمم المتحدة للبيئة وتعزيز فعاليته في مخاطبة انشغالات وهموم الدول والحكومات، خاصة التي تتعلق بقضايا البيئة. وتثمن المجموعة العربية الجهد الكبير والجبار الذي بذلته جمهورية السودان في إعداد مشروع قرار تحسين جودة الهواء، وأجمعت الدول العربية على أهمية دعم مشروع جمهورية العراق المتعلق بتأثير النزاعات المسلحة والإرهاب. كذلك العمل على دعم الجمهورية اللبنانية بمساعدتها لمعالجة الأضرار التي ترتبت على تلوث مياه البحر الأبيض المتوسط بسبب تسرب النفط نتيجة للقصف الذي تعرضت له محطات إنتاج الكهرباء المطلة على السواحل في العام 2006. وكذلك دعم الجمهورية اللبنانية والمملكة الأردنية الهاشمية لمواجهة الآثار السلبية الناجمة عن استضافة اللاجئين السوريين، بالإضافة إلى تقديم الدعم للدول العربية الأخرى من أجل حماية البيئة والسيطرة على التلوث وتنفيذ المشاريع البيئية. ختاماً، تتوجه المجموعة العربية بخالص الشكر والتقدير إلى المدير التنفيذي إريك سولهايم على جهوده التي أسفرت إلى توافق يقضي بتقييم الأضرار البيئية في الأراضي الفلسطينية المحتلة، ونأمل أن تتواصل الجهود من أجل تنفيذ هذا الاتفاق دون إبطاء. والسلام عليكم.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Bright Kumwembe, Head of Delegation, Malawi. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, Your Excellencies, our ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government of the Republic of Malawi, I wish to extend my sincere appreciation to the UN Environment for convening this important assembly under the theme towards a pollution-free environment in this beautiful city of Nairobi. At that point, let me also extend our sincere appreciation for the warm welcome and hospitality that has been extended to us by the people of Kenya. Mr. President, recognizing the importance of this assembly in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, Malawi reaffirms its support to the UN environment in its efforts to ensure a pollution-free planet. Pollution is one of the biggest challenges faced by the world today. It is the largest cause of disease and premature death in the world, accounting for 3 times more deaths in 2015 than AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria combined, and threatens the continuing survival of human societies, according to the 2015 report published by the Lancet Commission on Pollution and Health. Malawi has not been spared from pollution, population growth, rapid urbanization, increasing industrialization, rising incomes, and a more sophisticated form of consumerism, which are leading to an increase in the amount of toxic waste, especially in the cities. Malawi faces challenges in managing this waste and pollution generally due to inadequate and poor infrastructure, low awareness, limited human and financial resources, as well as poor coordination among stakeholders. This results in pollution of water, borders, soil, land, and air, including global warming. Our recently adopted Climate Change Management Policy 2016 has prioritized population growth as one of the key cross-cutting issues to be managed if we are not to overcome the environmental challenges that are currently facing the country. Mr. President, I would like to assure you that Malawi is committed to the protection and management of the environment and the conservation and sustainable utilization of natural resources. Recognizing that pollution does not respect national boundaries and requires concerted efforts and global action to mitigate it, Malawi ratified key multilateral environmental agreements and has furthermore established bilateral and regional partnerships in the management of transboundary movement of waste, as well as curbing air pollution in the form of greenhouse gases and also intervening substances. Realizing the need for private sector involvement in the battle against environmental pollution, Malawi is pressing to promote the concept of green economy and to pursue a low-emission development pathway by stimulating eco-entrepreneurship and cross-sector green business models that generate profit and wealth for people, the economy, and the planet. Very key in this pursuit is the promotion of cleaner technologies and industrial processes in strategic sectors such as renewable energy and waste management. Malawi is committed to reducing pollution at all levels, and currently Malawi has managed to achieve the following: elimination of leaded petrol, banned the importation of POPs, banned the importation and use of equipment containing ozone-depleting substances, migration to low sulfur diesel, that is 50 ppm from 500 ppm, and introduced a ban on importation, manufacture, trade, and use of thin plastics. In closing, Mr. President, I wish to indicate that as a community that is spearheading issues of environment, let us utilize the power and influence and the mandate that we have in spearheading a mindset change to control pollution so that we can make a pollution-free planet a reality. It all begins with us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you for your statement. May I now call on His Excellency Dr. Sabo Ohana, Head of Delegation, Cambodia. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Over the past decade, Cambodia has experienced high growth in industry, urbanization, and agriculture. This has put great pressure on the government, posing great challenges to the society, health, and welfare. Due to our limited financial, technical, and technological resources in environmental management, Cambodia continues to struggle with some of the issues like water pollution, poor solid waste management, and coastal and marine pollution. The Royal Government of Cambodia has taken steps to tackle environmental issues through the formulation, introduction, and implementation of a number of policy and regulation. In fact, Cambodia has established the National Policy on Green Growth 2013-2030 and the National Environmental Strategy and Action Plan 2017-2023 that incorporate fundamental elements of sustainability in the development process. Cambodia also has an interministerial mechanism called the National Council for Sustainable Development to coordinate among 11 ministries and stakeholders to integrate environmental consideration into development plan. Moreover, Cambodia is decentralizing the task of environmental protection, where the subnational level will implement the government policy and enforce law, and the national level will monitor and supervise their implementation and enforcement. In addition, while Cambodia has had a regulation on pollution control, recently special attention has been placed on the production, distribution, use, and recycling of plastic bags and the storage or disposal of the electronic waste. The most anticipated move for Cambodia in tackling pollution is the environmental code. While the code is in drafting process, and it will be soon finalized and submitted to the Parliament after Council of Ministers approval. Contained in the code, better environmental standard and mechanism will be employed and assured. The code will be encouraged of a better framework for green investment and infrastructure. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that determination, collaboration, knowledge generation, and sharing innovation and clean technology are transforming these challenges into opportunity to tackle pollution. The third session of UNEA is a great opportunity for the state representative to meet and share experiences and the best practice. Further cooperation, either in the form of bilateral or multilateral arrangement, will be a good option for the country which best practice to share the knowledge and provide technical and financial support to developing countries. Finally, I would like to conclude my statement by reaffirming our commitment to work toward a sustainable planet and a pollution-free planet for present and future coming generations. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you for your statement. May I now invite His Excellency Dr. Juan Clos, Executive Director, UN Habitat. Dr. Clos, you have the floor.
Very much, Mr. President. It's an honor for UN Habitat to address this assembly. As you know, UN Habitat is the UN agency that, altogether with UN Environment, is hosted here in Nairobi. Therefore, we share the campus and we share most of the themes that we are in charge of. UN Habitat, of course, deals with the urbanization process of the world, and I must say that urbanization continues its acceleration, and it's going to arrive to between 56–57% of the total world population in the forthcoming month. That it's a proof that the continuation of the urbanization is with us, and we need to remember that urbanization is responsible for 70% of the greenhouse gas emissions in the planet. I repeat, 70% of the greenhouse emissions in the planet is related directly to urbanization. Therefore, in the conference that we have had in Quito, Habitat-3, and its outcome document, which is the new urban agenda, we have underlined two basic concepts. One, that urbanization, when it's well done, can be a tool for development. Is not a kind of punishment infringed to the countries, but otherwise, if it's well managed, it can be a tool to accelerate sustainable development. The problem is that it requires attention, it requires political dedication, it requires legislation frameworks, it requires urban planning frameworks, and it requires financial frameworks. At the same time that it can be a tool for development, what we are seeing, unfortunately, in the planet is that the current model of urbanizations continues to be dominated by a spontaneous urbanization, that say the growth of slums. This spontaneous urbanization is not a tool for development. It's a guarantee that more problems are going to be concentrated in unplanned urban areas, and further problems will lie ahead in the agenda of the countries that are suffering this spontaneous urbanization. Of course, the second question that we have addressed in the new urban agenda is the focus in the climate change and urbanization. Both in the developed countries and in the developing countries, immediate and urgent actions are needed to bring urbanization to the path of sustainable development. Transportation, buildings, public space, security, resilience, all those are concepts that need to be embedded in urban planning and management in order to fulfill that we achieve the expected positive outcomes of urbanization. There's not going to be such an outcome if we don't elaborate, and this is my third and final point of the new urban agenda, and we don't encourage member states to develop their national urban policy. If all these difficult questions are not stated in the national urban policy, and therefore the means are there to articulate local, subnational and national governments in these achievements, we cannot expect immediate solutions in this field, because it's very well known that when a rural person, people, moves to a city, its consumption of energy increases tenfold. As that is the case, if we don't act immediately in bringing urbanization to this path of sustainability, we will face much growing difficulties in addressing of the issues of climate change. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Claus. Thank you. Considering that there is time, I propose to the Assembly that we hear from the following speakers: representatives of the local authorities major group, science and technology major group, children and youth major group, children and youth major group, and farmers major group. I see no objection. Let me now therefore invite Ms. Joke Saulige, Minister of Environment of the Flemish Government, representing local authorities major group. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Excellencies. As a Flemish Minister of the Environment and President of the Network of Regional Governments for Sustainable Development, I deliver this statement on behalf of the local authorities major group. Pollution requires an inclusive and integrated approach. Local and regional governments are crucial partners in this fight, as we have responsibilities to regulate and control pollution. Moreover, we can design campaigns to raise awareness and promote the engagement of citizenship and local stakeholders. We can help raise the ambition of national and global efforts. As local and regional governments, we are committed to a new mindset, which is ecosystem-based, circular, and preventive of pollution. In this regard, we highlight the following elements. First of all, it is urgent to target action to improve the air quality in cities. Local and regional governments can establish policies to control this. For example, cities and regions are joining the Breathe Life campaign committing to smart mobility measures, clean public and private transportation. Secondly, we need to strengthen channels for decoherence, coordination and cooperation between all levels of government, especially in less developed cities and regions. This would improve capacities to act on pollution. Thirdly, on data, the stations to monitor water, air and soil quality are often under the responsibility of local and regional governments. This is crucial to identify gaps and improve efficiency. In areas where we lack that data, additional support to subnational governments would be required to install and manage these stations. Finally, at the UN level, we urge for an integrated approach to pollution. The SDGs, the new urban agenda, and the Paris Agreement all have implications on this topic. UNEA should provide inputs to the high-level political forum. This will secure the delivery of the environmental dimension in 2030 agenda. In conclusion, we would like to propose we strengthen opportunities for showcasing, exchanging and cooperating with subnational authorities. Specific UN environment projects on this can be key to reduce and prevent pollution. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you for your statement. May I now invite Mohammed Ali Alai of Gulf Research Center, representing the Science and Technology Major Group. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I deliver this statement on behalf of the Science and Technology Major Group. Science presents clear evidence of the various negative impacts of pollution and the need to act with urgency if we are to have a sustainable future. Yet many governments do not hear or act on this message. We hope that UNEA-3 will provide a number of opportunities to strengthen the science policy interface at local, national, regional, and international levels. While technological innovations are an important part of the solution, they alone will not suffice. Knowledge from across the natural and social sciences are needed to identify, assess, monitor new technologies for their environmental and social impacts, to ensure that proposed solutions are environmentally and socially appropriate. This includes ensuring rapid technology transfer from north to south. We continue to strongly support the GEO6 process and look forward to the global version of the report. In addition, projects like Air System Governance, Future Earth, and Sustainable Development Solution Networks are just a few other examples of the ongoing scientific research that can also be instrumental in monitoring and setting indicators to address pollution. Briefly, we recommend the following to UNEA-3. Establish a strong environmental governance for all pollution issues, water, land, and so on, with regularly updated legislation, financial incentives, community participation, and data collection and monitoring. More governmental incentives and financial support to research on safer alternative of hazardous chemical with priority to non-chemical alternatives such as agroecological farming. Avoiding false solutions to address pollution issues such as incineration for e-waste and plastic. Professional science alone cannot provide information at the scales and resolution necessary to understand environmental change. The dominant culture of scientific expertise does not account for different ways of knowing and often fails to engage the public. Thus, we strongly support establishing a global citizen science coalition. Citizen science emphasizes collaborative intelligence and co-creation to facilitate scientific and community-based solutions. Citizen science also provides active and meaningful ways to integrate local and indigenous knowledge. Finally, UNEA-3 must ensure the full engagement of the scientific community at global level so that no scientist is left behind. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Excellency. May I now call on Bumi Abanawu of Fade Africa, and Leo Verlage of the European Law Students Association, who will speak together. You may have the floor, please.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Dear Excellencies and distinguished delegates. I am Bumi Obanawu from Nigeria with my colleague Leo Verlage from Germany, speaking on behalf of the major group of children and youth. Thank you for the opportunity. Now, I would like to recognize the efforts of the UNEA-3 presidency, the member states, the executive director, and the secretariat on the progress made in the last several months, and this last week in Nairobi, and want to address the following. So first off, we express our support for the draft resolution proposed by Iraq on pollution prevention and control in areas affected by terrorism and armed conflicts. We strongly encourage the member states seriously take into consideration the plight of countries which suffer the frontline impacts of pollution caused by conflict and terrorism. We would like to reiterate that this is a resolution about pollution, not terrorism. We, the youth, who are rarely the sources of conflict, but suffer the most brunt of the problem, call for solidarity on this issue and request for a consensus on the resolution. Secondly, we also welcome the draft resolution proposed by Mexico on pollution mitigation by mainstreaming biodiversity into key factors. Children and youth organizations around the world are committed and willing to support on the advancement of national biodiversity agendas, and remind you that beyond the future leaders of this world, we want to be seen as potential partners for the implementation of these decisions at the national and local levels. Thirdly, we are aware of the ongoing discussions about the engagement of stakeholders who come from different financial backgrounds and interests. In the past, UNEP has set precedents for how it engages with civil society, and we want to encourage that we develop on the same principles of having good faith actors on board. Fourthly, the impunity in the cases of environmentalists murdered in the world is alarming, with the figures increasing every year, especially in Latin America and Asia Pacific. We urge the member states to create policies for protection of environmental defenders.
Lastly, and most importantly, appreciating the hard work invested by member states in UNEA-2 on Resolution 2/3, investing in human capacity for sustainable development through environmental education and training, we reiterate the significance of education in ensuring informed efforts towards saving our planet. Hence, the UNEP MGCY would like to propose having education as a theme for the UNEA-4. The UNEA-2's resolution on education and training was limited to formal education and also suffered the lack of financial capacity that was also highlighted in the report from Executive Director. Many youth-led organizations work on education, capacity building, and addressing the gaps in different education contexts. These efforts need to be supported by the national and local governments. Therefore, we reiterate the proposal for having education as a part of the thematic for UNEA-4. Education is a long-term, indispensable pillar in ensuring effective, informed, and better solutions to the current environmental crisis. Taking this proposal would show that the next generation is important to UNEA. As a Native American proverb goes, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Let us all move together stronger. Thank you, dear delegates.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Bunmi. We took note of your recommendations and thank you for your support. Our last but not the least speaker, Mr. Enfin of the Federation of Environmental and Ecological Diversity for Agricultural Revampment and Human Rights of Cameroon, representing the Farmers' Major Group. Mr. Enfin, because of the importance of your sector, the floor is all for you.
The Chair and various Excellencies, thank you. I am presenting for the Farmers' Major Group. I come from Cameroon. I'm called Chabo Bokengo. We the farmers made 6 recommendations, and we considered pollution of the air, water, land, and soils as adversely affecting the environment, peoples on Earth, and livelihoods and biodiversity. That over 200,000 workers and farmers die every year due to pesticide poisoning, with 99% of fatalities occurring in developing countries, and mainly many others suffer from cancers, hormonal disruptions, and other chronic effects. Fertilizer and pesticides companies report huge profits at the cost of people and the planet. 2, that agro-business-driven intensive agriculture and extractive industries within incentives from governments are known to grab land and resources and deny access to land, especially for women and small farmers, indigenous peoples, and other communities. Despite proliferations of platforms and programs, we need more concerted and urgent action on the part of member states to prevent pollution on land and soil. This model of industrial agriculture has been facilitated on developing countries through international and regional institutions. International financial institutions and multilateral trade agreements is not sustainable and accentuates pollution of air, soil, and water. Small farmers, women, and indigenous peoples have been practicing sustainable agriculture through centuries, but now with the introduction of new patent regimes and technologies such as IPRS, communities' resources, particularly seeds, are being commodified by TNCS, making it difficult for small farmers to access these resources. More than environmental pollution these days, these issues need to be looked from the human rights perspective. Marginalized communities bear disproportionate burden of disposition and disease due to pollution. State must prevent and stop the killing of and enforce disappearance of land and environmental defenders who are relentlessly fighting to save the Mother Earth and penalize their perpetrators, and ensure effective mechanisms and laws to prevent disposition of land, territories, and resources. 6, and the last, member states must ban and phase out the highly hazardous pesticides, set up processes to elaborate on comprehensive legally binding documents on HAPs, advance agroecology and natural farming that builds on farmers, women, and indigenous people, experience and support by science, stop the land grabbing by corporations and the use of GMOs, that is another pollutant, and support the Human Rights Council's ongoing discussion on elaborative and legally binding treaties on TNCs and other business enterprises with respect to human rights. Thank you very much, My Excellency.
Thank you, Enfin. Thank you. We have now concluded our list of speakers for this session. We will adjourn the session and continue the national statements tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the same room. For the moment, allow me to invite the Secretariat to make housekeeping announcements.
Thank you, Chair, and thanks to all the speakers who have provided very valuable insights today on the theme of the high-level segment. I just have a few announcements to make, perhaps starting with the information that the Committee of the Whole will convene in this room immediately after the adjournment of the session. Very importantly, delegates are invited to attend the multi-stakeholder dialogue, which will start at 6:30 in conference room 1, just across the hallway. The theme of the multi-stakeholder dialogue is people and pollution. You'll have the chance to listen to different perspectives, different voices, and we are truly waiting for an interactive dialogue between decision makers, stakeholder organizations, international organizations, and even private individuals. 2 other very important events, especially around the topic of finance, will take place. The first one in conference room 11, the Green Climate Fund event, organized by our partners of the Green Climate Fund at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Conference Room 11. You're cordially invited. And you're also very cordially invited to the event that also the World Bank is organizing on finance for pollution management, which will take place in the VIP lounge, which is up the stairs here by the roundabout from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. There are many opportunities, still many ideas that you can take advantage for. And Mr. Chair, I have nothing else to add but to thank you for presiding over this session.
Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, Excellencies. I declare the meeting adjourned.